This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin', ladies and gentlemen? We're below 500. I don't even know if there's much more I can say on this show. We're below 500. That's it. It's the end. I should play the outro. My outro and the intro are the same thing. I don't know, man. Let's talk about it. The Knicks lose 113 to 199, and it wasn't even that close, to be honest with you. Wasn't even that close. They got smacked around in the second half, ladies and gentlemen, and a lot of the first half, too. Terrible game from the New York Knicks. I got Andy and Big Bubba here with me. We actually watched the game together, laughed and cried together, ladies and gentlemen. We laughed and cried together.
Oh, man.
Andy, what's your take on the game, man?
Listen, the only thing I got to say, man, if Frank was here, that probably wouldn't happen.
Oh,
but
man.
this is we're smiling, through tears, man. This is so bad.
Exactly.
It's like that. So
exactly. Tay 234. He said, "Don't smile, Sim. Nobody can smile today." We can't help but to smile and laugh.
Yeah.
Sometimes when things are so bad, you just gotta smile and laugh about it because, this game was a laugher. That's exactly what it was. It was a laugher. So many mistakes made, so many miscommunication, so much miscommunication. Oh my gosh! This was a terrible game. Probably the worst of the season. Terrible game.
This was the worst game.
And it sends the team below 500 for the season. Makes it even worse. The Knicks are now 11-12 on the season, and I'm pretty sure have fallen out of the play-in situation.
yeah, we were 11th before the game. So
we were 11th before the game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Listen, and Sim, just to add in, after the 3 quarters, I think Tibbs's goal for this game was to get the score under 20. Right. It was clearly that because he brought in Randall with like 8.5 minutes in the fourth quarter left.
Randall
just to get under 20.
Randall and
it was like 26. So
he brought in Randall and Fournier at that time.
Yeah. So listen,
and there's really nothing. I don't even know if there's anything positive to take out of this game.
Oh, there's nothing.
I mean, what can you take out of this?
I'll tell you what, though. The best part of the game was watching it with you two. That was fun. I'm not gonna lie. And Sim, I know. Listen, I ain't gonna spoil it, but hey, guys, look forward to some great news coming soon. But look, like you said, Sim, there's honestly zero. There's no silver lining. There's no, hey, at least Obi looked good. At least Quickly looked good. It's nothing like that.
Nobody looked good.
Yeah, nobody looked good. The fans booed rightfully. We're below 500. We are not even in the play-in right now. And to me, the theme of this game is communication.
It is
non-communication.
Non-communication. Too many gaffes. RJ and Julius Randle. Somebody say, "I got it. I got the ball." Right? They run into each other. Julius Randle knocks it off of his foot out of bounds. The dude that Julius Randle was guarding, Najee, right? He's
Averages 6.8 points, by the way, for the season.
Yeah. 6.8 points, and he had 21 points tonight. But the one play, Julius Randle and Evan Fournier both go to, I guess, help out Derrick Rose, because Derrick Rose was guarding Jeff Green, I think it was.
Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon, right. Guarding Aaron Gordon. They both go to help out Derrick Rose and leave Najee and Campazzo open on the left side of the floor. The ball gets passed out to Najee, and Julius Randle doesn't even close out. Miscommunication or no communication, and then lack of aggression to even close out. That's just terrible basketball. It's like they didn't even come to play basketball today.
Yep.
You know, Steph, your thoughts about this debacle?
I mean, I missed it, but I'm sure you guys covered it. I thought that offensively we could not score.
Right.
Missed shots. The offense did not have any rhythm to it whatsoever. Defensively,
this year.
Yeah. Worse today, though, I thought. Defensively, the closeouts were terrible. And I get it. You know, they did a lot of driving and drawing, but the Knicks weren't even like one step off. They were like 2 and 3 steps off. We don't need 3 and 4 people responding to a drive, which is what was happening earlier in the season. And you can't move as fast as the ball. And they were getting open shots and they were hitting them. They came right out of the emergency room, right into the garden, and the Knicks looked like they just rolled out of bed and came into the garden.
That matinee game.
Yep.
You know, yeah, that could be part of it. But there's no sense of urgency. Like, one thing about last year's team, the defense was part of it. The chemistry was part of it as well, but they had a dogged mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
This team, no defense, no chemistry, and the mentality is like, you know, whatever. No sense of urgency.
And to be honest with you, Steph, again, I know it's a little fuzzy remembering before Derrick Rose got to the Knicks, but I don't, even though we were a couple games below 500 last year, I almost know for a fact we weren't this bad defensively before Derrick Rose. We weren't this bad.
No.
We weren't. I've seen so many games this season already that we have looked like a days ago. We look like we don't want to be there. We look like you said we just rolling out of bed. I'm seeing, again, the effort that we seen even before Derrick Rose got traded to the Knicks. It wasn't this bad. It wasn't this bad.
It wasn't. If you remember, Derrick Rose was more about solidifying that second unit, because that second unit looked like they was just all over the place.
Oh, we couldn't score.
The first unit was okay. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Isaiah tried to name a guy, but I think he forgot his name. That's why he didn't want to, rough up the fan base.
Yeah.
The guy plays in Phoenix.
Yeah.
You can call him out.
Right.
No,
he don't want to do that. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to do that.
Eddie, hold on. Let me tell you something, Eddie. It ain't gonna get that bad this season when I gotta say his name.
It already is. It already is.
Wait, 2 games. Two more games.
I will say this, though. I will say this. We are definitely missing Reggie Bullock.
Yeah, well, you're missing Upper Payton, too.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Listen, you can deny it all you want. That's cool.
Sam,
but
listen. Hold on. What was he going to do today?
Listen. I mean, you're going to have games like that, of course. You might not have did anything. But Tibbs told you specifically all last year he's there because he plays good defense at the point of attack. He sets the tone defensively. And now, what do we complain about? We don't have defense at the point of attack. Nobody is setting the tone defensively. So, that's water under the bridge. It's not coming back. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And I think we're losing for different reasons. I mean, those first 2 games against Phoenix and the Nets, the effort was much better. The offense was much better. The defense was better. Today was just something different. But the last thing I want to bring up, the next thing, we talk a lot about Randall's lack of feel. I hate that word IQ, but lack of feel for the game. When are we going to start talking about Mitchell Robinson's lack of feel for the game?
Gosh.
This guy, as far he has not improved in terms of his feel for the game, his thinking of the game. It just has not improved since he was a rookie.
Yeah, I know. When we were watching the game, and Steph, I was gonna send you a message, say, hey, we're come join us, but Andy said, Mitch is fouling people, and I don't even think he knows he's fouling people.
Andy did say that, yo. I don't even think he knows it,
and that's what it looks like sometimes. I don't know, man. We're in a bad place, and Clyde Frazier said, maybe another loss is time for a team meeting. I think it's time for a team meeting now.
Yeah,
because
it was like last week was the time.
I didn't get a chance to do a shoot around, but if I would have been able to do a shoot around yesterday, the theme of the show was going to be about composure, and are the Knicks losing their composure on the season? With what happened with Taj Gibson, Julius Randle and Evan Fournier, getting into their little spat on the court, which I'm fine with those guys getting into an argument. It's going to happen, but when you see things like this happening, Julius Randle getting that, being demonstrative and getting the tech down the stretch of the game against the Brooklyn Nets, this is a sign to me. Obi getting upset that he's taken out of the game too soon and, making faces and things. This is a sign to me that a team is losing their composure. There's cracks in the seams. And they need to have a meeting to start to mend this thing.
Yeah, and Sim, you have an early game Saturday. This is your early game Saturday, right? You don't play until Tuesday. I'm thinking the rest of the day, you got do what you got to do, blow some steam off, whatever. Go to the club, do what you got to do. Sunday, you have to have that team meeting Sunday. Because something has to be aired out. Because again, this first unit, even listen, if you want to even go back to when we were 5-1, there was this cohesiveness that just wasn't there. And in early season, we chalked it up to it's early. It's these guys got to learn each other. But now it's getting to the point where listen, man, we're
quarter of the way through.
We're 2 months away from the All-Star break, and we just don't look good. We're just that play with Randall and RJ to me has just been the epitome of our season. Just no communication, like again. It's some people. If you play sports, is it complicated to a certain extent? Yes, because you got to get the little parts of the game, but a lot of the game is simple, man. It's simple communication of like you just saying, I got it.
But when you don't communicate,
you make it hard.
Complicated. If anything is complicated when you're not communicating. Let me get to a couple super chats, and I'm gonna read off the box score and stuff like that. Neville Humphrey said, "How do I get on the panel?" Those who are on the panel have become members of the show, and then you can get a link to get on the panel. So below,
you gotta pay me.
You gotta take that $5 super chat.
Yeah, take that. Yo, listen, you might as well take that money back, brother.
But, I appreciate you, my friend. I appreciate you. But that's how we did. We were just talking about this. We had an episode a very long time ago where somebody did something very despicable that came into the chat. You know what I mean? And ever since then, we had to change up the way we allow people to get into the chat. And if you don't know, well, you can't go back on YouTube and see it because you deleted it. But you can ask some people in the chat what happened. There's some people that remember. Trust me.
If you an OG member, like ask D Public Enemy, ask B-Ball for Life, ask a few of these guys out here, man, about what happened that episode.
Yeah. Let me get to the box score, man. I don't even know if it's worth reading, but here's the box score for the game for the Knicks. Julius Randle. He had 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists. I seen someone say in the chat that Randle looked good. He didn't look good defensively, I'll tell you that. The entire team didn't look good defensively, but I mean, his guy, the guy that he was guarding, averages 6 points a game, and he had a season high, career high, 21 points and 8 rebounds.
So Randall's gonna look good on those posters that Nanji's gonna have all around his house, man, on the Curry game.
Exactly. R.J. Barrett came back this afternoon from being sick. He had 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Mitchell Robinson did not play well defensively, 4 points, 6 rebounds. Alec Burks had 11 points. Evan Fournier, 15 points and 5 assists. Shot well from the field, shot well from the three-point line. He's 43% from the field overall. Nerlens Noel, he only played 18 minutes, 5 points, 5 rebounds. Derrick Rose, 11 points, 4 assists. And as for the Denver Nuggets, of course, they were led by Jokic. And Jokic had 32 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists for Jokic tonight. After that, their second leading scorer was Najee, 21 points. And this is a guy that most of us had no idea who he was. 21 points and 8 rebounds for Najee. 13 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds for Will Barton. 11 points, 5 rebounds for Jeff Green. Aaron Golden had 5 points. Monte Morris, 9 points and 5 assists. Campazzo had 8 points and 4 assists. And the Nuggets, looked like they had Jamal Murray out there on the floor.
And Michael
looked
Porter
like they
Jr.
had their whole squad out there against us tonight. And, just bad basketball, man. The Knicks shot from the field 39.8%. And this is a team, the Denver Nuggets, who had been giving up 56% shooting to their opponents. And the Knicks could only manage 40% from the field. Caller, you're live. Talk to me. Tell me where you're from. Your name and where you're from, please.
What it do, Sam? This is KD from the Bronx, man.
What's going on with you? How you feeling?
Feeling terrible. This loss was so bad, I don't even know where to begin to find some positives to diagnose it. But the one positive I could say is at least Quentin Grimes looked like something.
Okay.
Maybe we could get him some minutes. That's really pretty much the only positive I've seen.
Yeah.
When are we going to admit R.J. Barrett just might not be it? Like, how long do we have to,
here we go. This is going to get good. Here we go.
sit through this? And then also with Steph, like, before I get on R.J. Barrett, Steph, I admit the center position has killed us this season. That's really the biggest difference defensively. We can't get anything from Noel, and Mitch this is the worst I've ever seen him. Honestly, he has to get out of here. And I watch League Pass, I see every team, it seems like they have a better center than us. The dude in Washington, Gafford, he's better. Miles Turner's better. He's the biggest weakness. You get any stretch 4 out there, it's like an automatic loss. And it's like there's nothing they can do to stop it. I don't know. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated bad, man. And it's just like we got to get him up out of here.
Yeah, I think everybody is. Everybody's frustrated, especially after this loss here, because the Knicks had a chance. They were 11-11 coming into this game. They had a chance to get this game. A team that's came in decimated. And then you play San Antonio. They're below 500. Indiana's below 500, and then somebody else, I don't remember who it is, that's also below 500.
This team has a terrible record in their last 10 games.
Yeah.
This was an easy win, easy for the pickings. You know what I'm saying? Could have got them right. Could have got them over 500.
Yeah,
and it was predictable. You have a center that can shoot threes. It's almost like it's an automatic loss.
We said
earlier,
we have to.
I was going to say
we would have been better off with Obi trying to stick him on the perimeter.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's
let's not act like Joker's not the MVP. He gonna get that on anybody.
Every stretch center, Isaiah. It's not joke. Is Miles Turner an MVP? Is Vucevic an MVP? This happens every single time. It's an automatic loss.
No, but hey, listen. I'll tell you this. Every player has a weakness. Every player does. And I think for Mitchell Robinson, I said it earlier. I think Mitchell Robinson's biggest issue against players is that if you have good footwork and if you can shoot the outside shot, you're most likely going to have a good game against Mitchell Robinson. That's not his style of play.
I hear you, bro, but at this point, he has
his style of play.
You can't even. He's a minus on offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, he clogs the paint. Julius can't get busy rolling to the rim. I mean, everybody's mad at Julius. He's the only one, contributing the most. But everybody's mad at him. But okay, cool. And he hurts. He hurts the team, offense and defense. And I mean, the one thing we used to hang our head on, at least last year, he used to get them blocks, protect the rim, play good defense. He's not doing that. So it's like, what's the point?
Well, also
that's one of the reasons why this team is not the same.
Yeah, but you also got to remember too, man, that I think so it's tough for Mitchell, right? Because for the first couple years we begged him to put on weight because he was getting bullied by the Embiids.
I didn't.
Bullied by some. Well, no, I understand, but that's funny. No, but so I'm saying though, right, is that he was getting bullied by those Embiids, who to be fair, he does play Embiid more than he'll ever play. As long as he stays on the East Coast, he's gonna play Embiid more than he plays Joker. And you got some of these guys in the East that they have weight to them, so it's gonna be tough. Because again, I think I personally think the weight is slowing him down.
That makes no sense. He's getting abused. Like, there's no. I mean, what's the point of being working out to?
But Joker's a skill guy, though. You got to remember, Joker's a skill guy.
What's the point? Honestly, he's just not it. He's had the whole years. Like, he's just, I don't know. And like Steph said earlier, there's no improvement to this man's game in how many years? He's just not it. He's not it. That's probably the biggest issue that we have to address immediately is, like, we have to get a competent center in there that can just give us a little something on offense, a little something. That's it.
Okay. All right. Hey, I appreciate the time. Well, Mitch's contract is up this season, so we'll see what happens from there, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. And as per usual, just like earlier, I had to remind Isaiah, make sure he's centered. Let everybody finish what they got to say, then jump in there, all right? So we won't have too many Julius Randle and RJ Barrett's collisions while we're on the court.
I got you.
You know what I mean? I will say this. Mitch definitely struggles in defending centers that can shoot the three. But as we pointed out while we were checking out the game, you also got to have guards that can fight over those screens, right? Because we were looking at Grimes, and a couple of times when he got in the game in the fourth quarter and he's fighting over top of those screens, the big man didn't have to help as all the big man had to do was hedge and then get back to his guy. But when you're not fighting over screens and your big man has to go way down deep to stop the guard, now they can't get back out to their guy in time. So we need some of that help as well. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a tough situation for sure right now. You know what I mean? Looking at the, I'll make this a little bit. Looking at the numbers behind the game, and then I'm gonna get Savvy in the building because Savvy is here, so I'm gonna get him in as soon as I go through these numbers behind the basketball game. The Knicks actually lose the rebounding battle. I know it says one thing on the screen, but I'm gonna update this for you. They actually lost the rebounding battle 42-40 to the Denver Nuggets today. Lost the rebounding battle 42-40. Of course, they lost in assists. The Nuggets had 30 assists. The Knicks had 23. It's actually more than what the Knicks normally have. 10 steals for the Nuggets, 7 steals for the Knicks, 6 blocks for the Nuggets, only 3 for the New York Knicks. Both teams took care of the ball. 13 turnovers for the Nuggets, 11 for the New York Knicks. The big difference in the game right here, shooting 52.4% for the Nuggets from the field and 39.8% for the Knicks. 39.8%. The Knicks only shot 30% from 3. The Nuggets shot 46.5% from the 3-point line. The Nuggets 100% from the foul line. I'm not sure how many free throws they actually shot. The Knicks only 81% from the free throw line.
I seen at one point, Sam, that they shot. I seen at one point they posted the screen. They only shot like 3 free throws versus us having like 6-13 or something like that. They were still blowing us out.
Yeah. Points in the paint for the Nuggets, 36, 40 for the Knicks, 20 second chance points for the Knicks, 10 for the Nuggets. The Nuggets had 15 fast break points, and the Knicks only had 5 fast break points. Some numbers behind the game right there, ladies and gentlemen. But nonetheless, big loss for the Knicks. And, it's this is back against the wall time right now. And, we're going to see what this team is made of if they're able to respond and try to get this season back under control. I don't know. It's tough to say. It's tough to say if they're able to do that. I don't know. Savvy, what's up, man?
Yo, what's good, Knicks family? How y'all doing?
You know it's bad when Savvy's in here.
Oh man.
Oh man, I'm gonna ignore that. I know Andy's happy to see me. All right. I always crack a big old smile whenever I get let on the panel, just because I'm happy to see y'all, even though the circumstances may be dire. Let me get.
That's a good word. Dire.
And they certainly dire. They certainly dire.
This must be bad. I come back, Andy, Savvy here. God dang, we must be cursed. Because Lord have mercy.
Yo, one day we're gonna find out what Zay does for a living. Okay, but man always got time at work. But let's get right to it, huh? Okay.
Yeah, that's funny. That's true.
Let's get right to it, okay? Someone said something before. Every time there's a big man who can shoot, we have trouble. I think it's true, but that's because we're so bad at closing out. And I think a part of being bad at closing out is allowing yourself to mess up and get tricked on the spacing in general. And then you wind up with 4 guys in the paint and you're looking dumb when there's 3 guys open and swinging it across the court, across the half court around the elbow, and then draining the open 3. But there was a moment in this game and in several previous games that I want to bring up, because it just perplexes me a lot, Sim, and I want to see if you can make sense of it for me, right? Julius Randle and Evan Fournier, right? We know that they've had some static between each other. They don't have the best chemistry. But why is it that on a consistent basis, we see moments where the ball goes from the elbow to the corner, okay? Then back to the elbow, then back to the corner between Julius and Fournier, and the entire other side of the half court with our other 3 players on the floor is being ignored for a good 7 seconds?
That's the same thing that Julius Randle and Reggie Bullock used to do, right? It'd be a handoff screen. You don't get nothing, get it to Randle in the post. He comes back out, or passes it back out to Reggie Bullock out on the wing, and then comes and sets the screen and tries a little pick and pop for, like you said, 7 seconds, right? They're trying to get this 2-man game going. I guess it's part of Tibbs' offense.
And I'm glad you said that.
That's the only thing I can say. That is part of Tibbs' offense, and this is what they practice.
I'm glad you said that. Because, and someone said this in the chat earlier.
You muted, Steph.
Oh, I was saying that's fine, but after the first pass or 2, if it's not working, you should swing it to the other side.
Right, exactly.
But Steph, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sammy.
I want to hear your comment, but I was going to add on to what Steph is saying, because if they would do that, they would find that there's really open driving lanes available to those other 3 players on the other side oftentimes. Okay, go on, Zay. I want to hear it.
Yes, sir. I will say that it's crazy because me, Andy, and Sim were talking about this, and this is one thing that listen, we have been talking about this for I don't know how long. Sim has had this show since 2017. I looked back at one of your videos. I was bored one day at work. Your first video was in it was in November 2017. First video. But
look at you pulling dates.
Listen, sometimes I'll be bored at work. Don't say my job. I didn't say that. But no, I'm saying this to say that we have had this problem for a very long time. We need a point guard.
No
Look,
doubt.
I love Julius Randle. I love what he's doing. I don't love what he's doing, but I love the concept of what he does with his game. But to me, I think this is why we all universally in the beginning of the season, well, for the most part, agreed that Kemba Walker was going to take the ball out of Julius Randle's hand. That was supposed to be one of the big things for us having Kemba was he was going to be the floor general. I know we had a discussion about this. We thought if he could have a Raymond Felton type of season, when Raymond Felton was here the first time in 2010, if he could have that type of season,
oh man,
I think the Knicks would have been at a very better spot. But when you have Julius Randle and you have him control the rock and everything plays through him, you have these two-man games where you see the whole side. This again, I'm sorry, there's been too many times this season I've seen him pound the ball on the floor and the whole other side, three other players are not moving. I'm literally looking at them stare at Julius Randle pound the ball in the paint, and then having a two-man game and them they're not moving. Again, I know we complain about RJ because I see people in chat complain about RJ. RJ is a slasher. RJ is a cutter. He should be slashing. He should be running to the rim. He should be doing all those stuff. Obi, slasher. We got some guys that can slash to the paint. We got Quickly who can go into the paint, do a little, teardrop. We have some of these players.
But they can slash regardless of what's going on the other side.
But Steph, what I'm saying is that, I don't know if this is being preached by Tom Thibodeau of not moving around because, again, there's too many games where we see Randle just pounding the ball and those other guys not moving. Again, that cannot be all on Thibs. I will say that. These guys have to move around because if you're just pounding the ball, you don't see nobody moving around. You're just going to go with what you naturally know.
I will say this. I agree with you, but that wasn't the case today. Randle did not have that offense was in Randle's hands sometime. It was in Burke's hands sometime. Mm-hmm. This was the first time where I was like, this is great. Randle is not the only one handling the ball and initiating the offense. So today was a little different in that respect.
It would have been much better if we'd have had some pace in the mix with that because we're far too slow and far too.
It's a slow team. Look at that starting lineup.
Yes, exactly.
Look at that starting lineup.
But you can't be slow and then plant your feet and become statues on offense at the same time. If you're gonna be slow, you have to create some open passing lanes when guys get took off their dribble.
But Savvy, the thing is, if you look at the first half, we were open. We were having good shots. A lot of them weren't falling down. I mean, again,
right.
You could chuck.
That's the point.
You can chuck that to that happens every game. But again, to me,
right.
one big issue that I have is that the Knicks good shots. There's been not a lot of times where it's been great shots, and again, some of this today was just about missing shots. But again, it goes back to just communication on offense.
I think there's a
defense.
There's a larger issue to that, right? The larger issue is that we lack versatility. If the shot is falling when we get it, then that solves all problems. Beautiful. We could do a lot of things bad, and if the shot falls, we'll still be able to win games, right? The issue is that when one thing is not working, we need to do something else, and we're not doing that. And when we're not getting inside, when the outside shot is not falling, we're letting them keep our paint clogged. When Julius Randle fails on the drive and he hits a three, we're not getting someone else to drive the ball from a different angle, from a different position at a different defender. There was mismatches that we didn't take advantage of. And RJ is a slasher, right? But if he's not going to finish at the rim, I don't need him slashing. I need him to probably pull up in the mid-range, okay? And that's just the unfortunate truth. And y'all know I'm the RJ Randle apologist. I keep my RJ cape nearby just in case of emergency. But if he's not gonna finish at the rim, when we need him to, then I'm not going to put him in that position. And I hate to see him chucking these threes up over and over. I'm like, yo, fam.
Savvy, what you're bringing up is part of what's going on with the Knicks overall. Randall's not playing up to par. RJ's not playing up to par. Mitch is not playing up to par. Fournier
Mark hear you.
is not playing up to par.
Kemba before Fournier stuff.
Kemba with right. So you're not going to win a back. We could talk about the offense. This is a shot-making league.
Yeah.
And if your players are not making shots and the offense is trash, or because they're not hitting shots, they're getting shots, but they're not hitting, you're not going to win in this league. You're just not going to win in this league.
It's a make and miss league. And to me, it's frustrating that the bright spot overall of this season so far has been Obi. And no offense to Obi, is not his fault, but that shouldn't be our bright spot. That should be icing on a cake of this season so far. That shouldn't be our bright spot. Obi's playing better.
Right.
Yeah. Let me get to a phone call here. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Hey, so my name is Michael. I'm from Chicago.
What's going on, Mike? How you feeling?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm a big-time Knicks fan, man. But let me ask you this question, man.
In Chicago?
When are we at the point of no return with this roster? Like, when do we want to say we either go all in or we start, maybe trading some of these pieces that are going to expire, maybe like a Mitch, and maybe see what we can package Randall for? Like, when's that point of no return in this season?
December the 15th, I think.
Well, Mitchell just signed. Well, Randall signed a new deal, brother. By the way, so he ain't going nowhere.
That doesn't mean he's not going anywhere. Just because he signed it.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, because this contract is tradable. It's not like it's untradeable.
Yeah.
You can get something for him, but I mean, you got to make that decision because, like, I think Obi can play. But Obi ain't going to play with Randall here like that. Like, he's not going to get the 25, 30 minutes he needs to get a game with Randall here.
But
like, I don't think it's going to work that way.
I don't know if Obi playing those amount of minutes gives you the production that you're hoping or looking for, especially defensively. I think a player like Obi, you have to build his endurance, and I don't mean endurance as far as running up and down the court. I mean endurance as far as being able to play defensively throughout the entire game. So you see more minutes this year. I think you see more minutes next year, and thereafter. So I think you've got to, work on building that endurance and that consistency throughout the entire game defensively. Offensively, I think because he does know how to get to the right spots, he'll be okay. Right. And of course, he's shooting 18% from three so far this year. He's going to have to shoot better than that to be your starting power forward, in my opinion. Right.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying though. So what's like if you look at Obi and Randall, like they're similar in except that maybe Randall's a bit stronger and Obi's a bit bouncier, but I don't know where is Obi's peak Randall? I mean, if that's the case, then we got to get rid of one of them because they both can't be here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Is that his peak? But I think it's going to take a couple of years before you really see, before you get to understand it, because I think he's got to solidify a few things and grow his one-on-one game if you're expecting him to be that kind of guy. So, I think, just a little more patience with him. Now, when I'm saying, you're saying, when do we say, hey, this roster ain't it? I think they've probably already said this roster ain't it. It doesn't mean that you don't have pieces that you're still trying to keep on the roster.
Right.
You may say, okay, we've got to take this out and plug this in. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to be on the hunt for a point guard somewhere, somehow, somebody, that they think can fit. I hope that they don't just grab anybody who has a name. I hope that they really try to think about, okay, what kind of point guard is going to make this roster work. That's going to be up to Tibbs to let Leon Rose and those guys know what he wants from a point guard or what he needs from a point guard. You know what I mean? And then see if they can go out and find that player.
Right.
And Sam, you know what?
All right,
I was gonna say to the caller that I said Andy said something very important when we was watching the game. The reason why we're liking Obi so much this season, because all the things Obi's doing, the rest of the team's not doing. Like him having the energy is him just, moving his body, cutting him doing all those things is because his team is playing lackadaisical right now. That whatever Obi's doing, that should be common for the team. Obi's doing it and making it look better than it. And again, granted, he's doing it great. He really is, but it's just looking more better because this team right now, the way it's constructed, is just not doing what they should be doing. You know, brother?
No, I got you. No, and it makes sense. But the only thing I get a little worried about is I think Steph said it maybe a few shows ago where I don't want us to sit on assets and hope and pray that they become something and miss an opportunity.
Right.
And that's what I'm afraid would happen if we kind of just tinker and not really make a decision. You know what I mean? So that's all I got, man. I appreciate y'all taking the time.
It's a delicate dance.
It's
a delicate dance.
It is. I think there are pieces here. There are a couple areas that we got to solidify. The wing defender, obviously a point guard. It would be nice to get a center that can shoot. You know what I'm saying? Where do we get those things from? Do we get them this season? Probably not. So my priority is going to be a point guard, like a legitimate point guard that can run the team. And I don't know where we get them, to be honest with you. At this point.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. No, good stuff.
The only thing I would say is when you start talking about trades, and I say this all the time, you gotta identify what's your window for winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it now or is it 3, 4, 5 years down the line? Because that's going to make that's going to be a deciding factor in what you do.
No, you're right. Exactly. And I would say this too. Personally, I think there's a point guard out there. He's in Sacramento, and he's a young kid. I think personally he's a Thibs point guard. I think De'Aaron Fox will be exactly what the Knicks need. Exactly
for
what kind of point guard.
Yeah, for who?
Hey man, you might have to say goodbye to quickly.
Noah expiring deal.
Hey, listen. Hey, I'm sorry to say this, but for De'Aaron Fox, you might have to say bye to quickly. You might have to say bye to Obi Toppin. But
and to RJ probably.
Both of them.
And you got to figure out.
And RJ, three of them for Fox. I think that's a bit much. No.
And then what does Sacramento want to do? We can't act like we're just gonna call them up and say, "Hey, we're giving you this. We're taking them. Let's go."
No, I'm not saying that, but I mean,
they got to be willing to deal.
They do got 3-point guards. Got 3-point guards.
You can't trade Randall for Fox. You right back where you started.
Right.
You might be
right
worse.
back where you started.
You might be worse.
Right. I feel like the Knicks are at a point in where Leon Rose and them guys are. They know they're not trying to win a championship this year, but they want to take a step forward, right? And continue to take a step forward, and then cash in your chips for the big dogs that get you over the top. I think I don't know if they believe that Randall is the big dog that gets you over the top, but if you can continuously get better, and then you get to that certain point and say, okay, you know what? Well, I think we're gonna have to trade him for whoever the player is, and start to get us over the top. I think they're looking to try to do something like that, but we got to take those steps forward. And so far this season, we haven't taken this step forward. Last year we were a couple games below 500 at this time. We're now below 500, one game below 500. For all intents and purposes, you can say we're at the same place we were last year.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And I have a quick Andy. I was gonna ask you a question, so I'm glad.
Hey,
I'm glad you laid it.
It's Staffy, so we just.
I just wanted to make a remark.
Hey, Sam,
before
get
we
in the
change.
bucket hat, Sam. Get in the bucket hat, Sam.
Before we change topics, Knicks family with popping. It's your boy. All right. But check me out, right? The trade window opens up on the 15th, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
For players you signed, you could trade somebody right now.
Players you signed.
Players you signed in the offseason.
You signed in the offseason. All right. So check me out, right? On December the 16th, we played the Houston Rockets again. Okay. Now we had some trouble against them during that last matchup that we shouldn't have had, right? But I feel like we need to find a moment to let McBride in there and see what he can give us in terms of pure passing, facilitation, and defense. What do you say? I want a round table of answers. Please.
Yo, yes,
Bro.
yes, Simeon Savvy.
One second, caller. 1 second. 1 second. So say that again, Savvy. I didn't hear everything that you said.
On the 16th, we're playing a bad team. We're playing the Rockets. I want to have an opportunity where we give the ball to young Deuce, the guy behind Andy right now, and see what he can give us in terms of passing, facilitation, and on-ball defense. Okay.
But why
What
we
do
gotta
you
wait
say?
for Houston though?
Yeah.
Because that's not gonna tell us anything against a team like Houston though.
I don't think
They have the longest winning streaks, Steph. Now.
I know.
They got
5-game win streak right now.
that's true. That's
I mean,
true.
I know.
Hey, yo, Andy, hold on, Andy. You think everybody think it's bad now? Lose to the Rockets.
Yeah.
Lose to the Rockets and see how this go up.
Listen, the reason why I say the Rockets is because I don't want to throw him in against a team that's going to overwhelm him too quickly, and then Tibbs yanks him out, and he don't see the light of day again for the next 2 years like Kevin Knox.
Well,
Savvy, that's you calling out Tibbs on the low, bro. You gotta go straight at him.
Hey, listen, I'll go at him as soon as it's time. I'm not hitting that panic button yet, but his offense is giving me an ulcer. Okay?
I mean, to answer
They're
your
not
question,
executing the offense though.
right?
But
yeah.
go ahead.
To answer your question about McBride, I don't think that happens.
No,
I don't
I
think
wouldn't
that
do it
happens.
myself.
I don't think that happens. First I'll say it's going to be tough with the situation that the Knicks are in right now. Okay, and dire straits that they're in, to now ask a rookie point guard to come up and be your savior almost.
I just
When you
need-
have Kemba, when you have Kemba in front of him.
Yeah, I just think that's going to be that's a lot to put on him.
I do think it was a bit abrupt to remove Kemba entirely from the rotation, but we might have a trade negotiation looming and be saving him for that. But we need to find a moment to assess this talent on an NBA level, as opposed to letting him go out there and put guys in the cooker night after night in the G League. Like,
I agree. I agree.
Can I answer real quick? Because I gotta go before I gotta actually do some work. I will say this, Savvy, because you are the host of the show, Savvy. You got the book app.
I just had to do that before you got it. I didn't want to forget.
Yeah. I will say this, Savvy. I like Deuce McBride. I really do. I think he actually will, eventually be a great defensive point guard in this league. Like Sim said, to be honest with you, you're putting more pressure on him by bringing him up now. You would have him playing over Kemba, and you would have him try to, again, Deuce plays defense really well, but you're talking about playing the best point guards in the league night in, night out. It don't get easy. It don't stop. Even today, we had trouble with Campazzo. We had trouble with Campazzo. Quickly couldn't stand in front of Campazzo. I'm not even gonna get started on that, but it's not gonna be easy for that kid, man. And that put a lot of pressure on him. You're saying, hey, the Knicks are below. Well, hopefully not. We're not below 500 by the time we play the Rockets. He's below 500. We're teetering to be 500. We're in the East. We're trying to win. You're asking a rookie, and I mean, Savvy, come on. You should know something about now. He ain't doing that. That ain't happening. So
I wouldn't do it either. I mean,
I
if
would.
you're talking about him coming in for some minutes, I'm good with that. But you talking about starting him? Nah.
Yeah, no, it won't happen. But listen, what the Knicks have to do, man, either December 15th, you got to make a trade, or you gotta figure it out. And listen, I mean, like we said earlier with Sim and them, you gotta have a team meeting. You gotta whatever feelings you got whatever feelings you have with each other. Fournier, Randall, RJ, all these guys, Kemba, let Kemba say his piece. You got to let that out. Yeah. Because listen, you got 3 games coming up, and then you face the Bucks right back at home. So you don't get a chance to really. You face the Spurs, the Pacers. I forgot who else we played. The third team we played, but then you got the Bucks right back at home after your road trip, and the Bucks are playing like the Bucks again.
Yeah.
So you listen, you gotta put your big boy pants on, figure this out, because if you don't by the end of this month, listen, we're gonna be talking about the lottery. So let's not get to that point. But
I'm not ready to go back.
Yeah, we're not ready to go back. But hey, Andy, Sim, I love watching the game with you guys. I know Sim got. Hey, listen, y'all. Sim got something special for y'all if you pay him some money. Pay him some money.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Hey, he don't want to say it. Pay Sim some money, and you guys gonna have some fun. I mean that in the most PG way possible.
Get this guy out of here. Get him out of here. Go get some work.
I know. Let me go do work before I get fired, y'all. But I'm gonna talk to y'all.
All right, later, man. Appreciate you.
See you later.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
And let's get Mark in the building. What's up, Mark?
Andy, I'm sorry.
Hello, my fellow cast members. How you doing?
It is funny. We win a game, and Mark comes in with a frown. We lose?
No, because
Mark comes in with a cheese.
Mm-hmm. I like seeing you guys, so I'm always gonna have a smile on my face.
Mark was watching a failed compilation video on YouTube, and the Knicks came up. So
let me get to this caller. Let me get to this caller, then I'm gonna come to you, Mark. Let me get to this caller. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Yeah, Tricky Nicky.
Tricky Nicky.
I'm from Michigan.
What up?
What's up with you, man?
I just wanted to say, I think if we look at this team and, another loss, it's okay. I think we're in build mode yet. We're creating depth. We didn't have hardly any last year. But I do want to say one thing. I got the Wolverines game on tonight, and I want to throw that out on a Knicks podcast once today. And go Wolverines, beat Iowa. Let's get in that playing game. Go Michigan. The other thing I'd like to say is we got 63 likes and 272 watch, and we need to get those up.
Yeah, let's get them up.
Salute to the Queen's Court. Salute to everybody in the panel. And salute to the chat. I love you guys. It sucks we're 11 and 12 right now, but I think if you look at it, we're in build mode, and there's not many possibilities for. I mean, we could bring in, say we brought in Damon Cat. Even if we brought in two guys like that, I don't think that makes us a championship contender. I really don't. So I'm just waiting, buying this year, and
hold up.
We'll let this year, sorry, my kid's interrupting me. We'll let this year play out how it plays, but I don't think it's on Tibbs. I don't really think it's out on the guys that we got. It's not our time yet. We're still developing, and I think we can relax a little bit, and we're going to be a mid-pack team.
Okay.
That's all I had to say.
All right. Appreciate it, Tricky Nicky. Now, if you bring in Tricky, if you bring in Dame and you bring in Cat, I don't care. I don't care. You're championship. You better be a championship contender if you bring in a
in this Eastern Conference.
We would have a chance. Let's say that
we will have a chance.
Yeah, you better.
But Damian Lillard been hurt too. He's been hurt too. He out too.
So. I know. Mark, what's going on, man? What's up?
Yo, nothing much, man. It was a great Sunday till I saw what I saw this today. But that's how I felt on the last time I seen you guys.
Isn't it Saturday?
We lost by 4 points then, Mark.
No. What I predicted what was going to happen today, how I felt going into the Denver game. I didn't feel very good about the Knicks winning that game because, again, Denver is still a team that is very disciplined in what they do offensively, and they're very good defensively. So they put a number on us. We allowed another guy, like a third-string guy, because if the guy that was shooting threes on us, he wouldn't be playing for no other team, but he shot 6 to 8 threes on us tonight. So it is what it is. We're playing like a team that's under 500. It's just game to game. It's game to game for me until this team just step up. Defensively, energy. The first quarter was the first quarter again. And that's what you get. Lack of effort. people start to slow down, don't want to play no more. The other team enjoying us, doing what they want. Yeah. That's a good Sunday. That's a good Saturday for us. It's not much I can say. I know.
I know.
I'm not trying to get mad.
Listen, I agree with you. There's really not a lot that you can say about this game. It was a terrible basketball game, and just hope that they take it back to the locker room, have a team meeting, and try to figure this thing out because.
And Denver was decimated.
This was supposed to be a game that can kickstart. I was hoping a 4-game win streak. Right, I was hoping that we beat Denver. Beat San Antonio, beat Indiana, and beat Toronto. Right, all games that are winnable.
Yeah.
Very winnable.
All games winnable. But with what just happened in Denver, I have no clue and no expectations for them to win versus San Antonio, Indiana, or Toronto.
And Sim, that's what I told you the other night. That's how I feel because it's like they give you no indication that they can go in and beat a team. And Denver is playing with a lot of third string guys that's coming off the bench. That's the thing that's bothering me. The way we play with lack of energy, we just look disbobulated on the floor. People don't know who to be. It was just like you put a whole bunch of rugrats into the playground. They just playing. They just doing whatever they want.
It did feel like they had no idea what they were doing.
Denver was moving the ball side to side, just toying with them. They was just toying with them.
Yeah.
They was smiling, lollygagging, enjoying throwing up threes. It was at a time they deserved all those three that was hoisted because they was having a great time doing it because they was open. It's just, listen, again, until they show me they want to play for New York, and we lost at home. We didn't even lose in Denver. We lost at home.
Oh, that's the norm these days.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's take a listen to Tom Thibodeau. Interested to hear what Tom Thibodeau has to say after this game here.
Yeah, I just thought Julius would take care of it. So.
Just your reaction to falling behind 30 points early before.
I'm sorry?
Reaction to falling behind 30.
Yeah, no, just disappointed, and, we have to take this opportunity to take a look at things and, gather ourselves and get ready for the next game. But it's when we're playing the way we're playing right now at home, that's the disappointing part. And as I told them after the game, you go to Atlanta, you get a good win there. I thought we played well in Brooklyn. We had a bad first half against Chicago, but we fought hard the second half. We put ourselves in position to win that game. And then tonight, this team, when you have an MVP type player, you can't come out to start the game the way we did. And so we have to get our edge back defensively. It starts there, get the hard part fixed. And then, we got into it together. We got to get out of it together. So, we got to fix the effort part, and then we got to go from there. It's a different team. So we know the three things that we have to take care of. It's our defense, our rebounding, and low turnovers. Now we were low turnover, but it was costly. We gave up 17 points off 11 turnovers. So you put them in the open floor. Then we did the same thing. We got into a big hole in the first half, came back, got it down to 6, and then we didn't cover the line. They hit 4 threes in a row. So that part. We can't pick and choose when we do things. And so you want to develop a consistency. And, so that's what we have to go back to.
If you had to diagnose one thing, Tom, that's caused the defense to slip to where it is this year, what would you say it is?
Well, the thing is, it's never really any one particular thing. It's a compilation of things. And, when we control the ball, and we have multiple effort and you fly around, and you challenge shots and you finish your defense with a rebound, it's good. So there's no magic to it. There's no shortcuts to this. You have to put the work into it. So if we do that, yeah, just the consistency of it. Like some of it is, could be the live ball turnovers, you know, so you put them in open floor, you know, for the most part, you know, there wasn't any aspect of our defense that was very good today, but for the most part, you know, field goal percentage has been very good all year, keeping the ball, points in the paint, very good, points off turnovers, usually pretty good, but, you know, covering the line, you know, we got to be better. We got to finish our defense. So that's, you know, second, third, fourth effort, hard closeouts, you know, plant, pivot, come back, rear view contest, you know, but we got to get them off the line. So, go ahead.
What do you make of just how he's been with his jumper?
Well, a couple things. Like, it's similar to last year. I have a lot of confidence in him being able to work his way out of it. When you throw in, he's been sick. So, you know, and to me, you get rhythm when you work. And last year he got going when he started coming in every night to shoot. So there's no, you know, notion that, you know, like, okay, I do it sometimes. No, you got to do it all the time. You know, when you did it, you ended up shooting 40 from 3. So get back in the gym, get back to grooving your shot, shoot a lot of threes, and you'll start making more.
Effort.
Wow.
Not you, but just
Wow, that's an order.
how can that be addressed?
Well, there's no magic to that either. It's just, you know, we got into it together. We got to get out of it together. It's, you know, it's all of us. It's players, coaches, everybody. Everyone has to, you know, where does intensity come from? It comes from maximum effort and maximum concentration. That's where it comes from. So we got to put those two things together.
Derek, looking to see if they can just get a run going. If you want.
Yeah, you know, like, so we ended up, you know, putting Julius at the 5, you know, just, and with Obi, and we were just trying to, like, find something. Like, when you get down the way we're getting down, you're searching. So, you know, I thought Quentin gave us good minutes. I like the way he played. You know, I thought he played hard. You know, he played both sides of the ball. You know, he shot when he should shoot, and he passed when he should pass. And I thought that hurt us at the beginning of the game. I thought we had some wide open shots that we hesitated on, and you can't do that. And then we ended up taking a tougher shot. And so when you're open, you got to shoot, you know. So but right now we're out of sorts, and we got to get back in. So just get into the gym. Let's put our work in, and let's fix it. That's all I want our guys thinking about.
Julius said, I guess, we're taking tomorrow off. I mean, what's the reasoning behind after a game like this? And also, do you have more decisions to make?
Well, you always have decisions to make, Mark.
Right, but I'm trying to, you know, line up, you know, you want to.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, like I said, you look at things in totality. You know, I can't, you know, the first thing when you think about changes, you're looking at, okay, how hard are we playing? That's the first thing you have to do, because, you know, if you're going to change a scheme or you're going to change a rotation, you want to make sure you're looking at it, not one game, you're looking at it in totality of a big enough sample size. So I always say the first thing is the intensity part right. And then the second thing would be, is the execution part right? So if the intensity is right and the execution's right and it's not working, then you change. So those are the two things, like when you, in fact, look at decision making, and then you gather more information. Sometimes if a decision is not right, then you make another decision. But gather the information, study it, and look at it objectively.
But it sounds like you're still moving forward with this new plan.
Yeah. But, you know, like, the thing is, if we're not performing well, you know, like, look, there may be more changes coming. Well, like, that's the thing. We got to, you know, I like our group. I like the way they approach it. You know, we all put our stuff together, and we got to focus together, and we got to work our way out of it together. That's the way it is.
With Kemba, I mean, because of who he is and what he's done in his career, would you even put him in a situation like at the end of the game tonight, or is he just, if he's not starting, then I'm not?
Yeah, and again, I want to make sure that, I do have respect for him. He's part of the team, and right now we have a rotation. He's not in the rotation, but he's working in practice. He's doing all the things he should be doing. As I mentioned before, when I made that decision, I view Kemba as a starter.
The thought process and evaluating schemes and stuff. You'll get your side because he's an MVP caliber guy. You've had some times where pick and pop centers have really gone off against you guys. How do you evaluate how you guys have defended those sorts of players?
Yeah, no, and you're right. You look at all those things, and so you usually have, when you prepare for your season, you think about all the players that you have to match up with over the course of the year, and so you look at, okay, what are the best matchups? Who's guarded them decently in the past, and an MVP guy like that is going to be a tough matchup for most guys. And then you look at your schemes, and so you usually have a primary scheme and then a secondary scheme, and then there's probably your third scheme. And so and that's where our league is going right now, is when you look at bigs, the skill level is tremendous, and usually one of the two bigs can really shoot, open up the floor. And with some teams now, it's they have 5 guys that can do that, and so you have to have things that you feel give you a chance against those type of players.
All right,
yeah, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Make sure you subscribe to the New York Knicks channel so you can get all their videos, interviews, etc., etc. Raymel Leonard said, trades are coming. That's basically what he just said. Maybe. I don't know.
I think there's something to that. I think he's fed up. Sim, do you remember when Duke played Kentucky at the Garden, and Julius Randle was there, and RJ Barrett was there, you know what I'm saying? And they was iced up, with the families, they had the ladies out having a good old time. I made a joke on my Instagram story that next day because I think we lost the very next game, and I said they was too lit from watching the game, Kentucky versus Duke at the Garden to perform well. And that was just a joke, right? But he said something that kind of alarmed me just now, right? He said about RJ Barrett, because I view RJ Barrett as like, he has it all upstairs, right? He said, when you were coming in every night at the gym and shooting shots, you shot well. So does that mean that we've seen a regression in work ethic there?
And he also said it's not something you stop doing. It just becomes part of it. That's just what you do. You think of Steph Curry, you think about all these great shooters, their process, their work ethic is the same.
Right.
And we see that a consistent theme in the commentary about our roster is the work ethic of one Emmanuel Quickley, who has garnered some support in terms of getting higher in the depth chart and the rotation from Knicks fans of all walks of life and regions and territory. And so what I'm getting at here is that I think we're getting a clue into who's movable and who's not. I think whatever we do, IQ is staying. If Tibbs got something to say about it.
That's his guy. IQ
That's
is
his
staying.
guy.
That's his guy. Has there been a drop in work ethic? I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe.
Yeah. They don't talk about it as much as they did last year, right? Everybody goes back to the gym. Everybody's this. Everybody. You don't hear anything.
You don't hear as much. It used to be every away game they found a gym, and the entire team would go to the gym together.
Yeah.
Shoot.
And RJ would be with Julius.
As soon as they got off the plane, they'd go to the gym and shoot.
Yeah.
Is that happening
that's
now?
why
I don't know.
on the road that might be still happening. We're
Maybe.
playing bad at home.
That's true. That's true.
Listen, they might be still doing it on the road, but maybe when they're back home, everybody's got a life.
Yeah.
The biggest killer of momentum and success in a rising star in any industry is to rest on one's laurels. And so if we're getting too happy with ourselves, feeling like we did something last year, this is going to be a bad year for us if we don't turn it around quick, because anybody can get touched in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
That's why I take from that.
Yeah.
I hope. I hope that they continue in the work ethic. I hope so. You spoke about RJ Barrett. Let's hear from RJ Barrett.
Defensive, the work effort. Two things Julius just said about kind of looking in the mirror and know what you guys are. Are you guys lost a little bit with that right now?
I think, we're at a early point in the season where we're trying to figure it out. Trying to figure out who we're going to be, what we're going to do every night. And whoever it is, whoever we're going to be, we got to figure that out quick and just make sure we stick to it and win some games.
This health situation, what was going on?
Yeah, I was messed up. I was messed up. I don't know. I kept running back. Like in the Brooklyn game, I kept running back and throwing up. And I came back out, try to play, do up again. So I just had to shut it down for a couple of days and feel a lot better. I don't know what it was. Just whatever it is gone.
You throwing up during the game?
Yeah, that's why I kept running back to the locker room.
RJ, sickness aside, you've been a little bit of a shooting from the last month or so.
Mm-hmm.
Just wondering what you make of that. What do you think that's been going on?
A little bit.
No idea. I think especially, at the beginning of the year when a team's trying to figure itself out, just also figuring out the shots that I'm going to get during the game, with this team, with new players. And, I think I've kind of figured that out now. And, I've just been working on the shots that I know I'm going to get and certain other shots. But I've been in shooting funks before, not really too worried about it.
When you're in something like that, are you a tinkerer? Do you make any changes, or do you just kind of keep doing the same thing?
Go back to the basics. Really, that's what it is. Just going back to the basics, what works. And after that, everything will figure itself out.
Were you less than 100% today? Off the illness, we still.
I was good enough to play.
We haven't talked to you since the Kemba decision.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of that, and how do you see it?
That's coach's decision. Whoever's out there on the court, I'm going to play and I'm going to fight with whoever's out there. So it's coach's decision, and we all stand by it. I think just our effort. That's really what defense is just effort. Tibbs is a great defensive mind. So it's really just up to us to bring that intensity and, that urgency to just play defense and get stops. Because, when you get stops, one that opens up transition and you get easy baskets, so you're not working as hard. And it also does something to the other team. It makes them, rethink what they're doing. So we just got to fight, man. That's it.
Big 15 mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Is that lost a little bit here with this team? You guys feel like you have an identity?
I think that's always the mindset. We just got to go out there and do it. That's it.
Today, the Garden, there's a lot of boos. How tough is that, to hear this?
I've heard worse. I heard a lot worse. My rookie year was a lot worse. So, every team has a game or a couple games like this during the season. So, you know, not too worried about it. Just like I said, we just gotta fight, bro. Like at the end of the day, all the X's and O's, all that doesn't matter. Like if we're gonna play defense, we gotta fight and fight together for the whole game, and like just do whatever it takes to win. Mm-hmm. It just gets we just gotta care, and I don't mean that we don't care. I think everybody cares in the locker room. I mean, we really do. We work so hard every day, every game. I think just on the defensive end, just be more intense. Like we can't allow, especially for the most part in all our games, we play a good game, and it's like a 4-minute stretch where we just go down big, and then we pick it back up again. It's like during that little stretch of the game, we got to stay solid.
I don't know. It feels like in these post games, there's a lot of stuff leaking through. You know, it feels like there's stuff leaking through, man. When you talk about you gotta care, then he kind of backtracked it and said, you know, not that we don't care, but I mean, to me, that's saying there's someone that they feel maybe don't care. I mean, there's some stuff leaking through between their words, man. Feel it.
Especially on this post.
Mark, you was right. But especially on this one. Yeah, go ahead, Andy, what you were saying?
Yeah, especially in these, you know, post-game interviews. Tibbs was calling out. He also said that, you know, around the league, there are all big men that can stretch the floor and shoot.
Yes.
Listen, neither one of our big men can stretch the floor, so looks like they're on the trading block. I don't know if Tibbs is trying to light up a fire under them or something, but listen, might be a bleak future for them.
Might need some boxing gloves in that locker room soon.
Yeah.
What I always say, look at their body language and how they play with each other. That's all. That's what it says. Because if players like to play with each other, you will see it. Just look at Denver. They like playing with each other, even though they're not, you know, above 500. Well, today they have 500, but even when they're down, they still play together. So it's just, listen, man.
Listen, I've been saying for a while that I don't feel like Randall and Fournier.
Yeah.
There are times when they can look like they play well together on the floor, like we've seen a few times today where they've, you know, made some passes, but their chemistry between each other as their personalities, I think, don't mix. And I wonder if that, because those two players have play such a big portion of this team, that it's infecting the chemistry.
And didn't they say that Randall's a shy person? So listen, Fournier is very intense. European people was very intense. So listen, you got to be able to match that.
Well, Randall said that he's a shy person or that he's an introvert.
Well, listen, he's gonna have to change that if you're gonna play that here. You can't be no introvert here. You can't. If you're gonna be leading the team, you gotta act like it.
Well, you know,
you can take your shots up somewhere else. That's how I feel about it.
Well, he wasn't.
Maybe that's what. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Steph. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think that's what that exchange with Fournier was about.
Exactly.
Because both of them said the same thing. That, you know, you got to talk. You can't hold it in. It just leads to other things. You just got to get it out in the moment. I don't really think that was a big deal. That happens on any basketball team.
That's healthy.
Really care about what they're doing, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Sim, let me ask you a question. Between the chemistry you saw tonight between him and Randall, right? Is it more out of just doing it because they have a rift with each other, more than actually doing it because, you know, they want to see the team prosper? Because, you know, when two people get into something and they're trying to, you know, fix the we'd be just doing it just to do it, not really doing it to make sure, we're doing as a team.
I mean, I think nobody wants to be on a losing team.
Yeah, that too.
Right. So they want to win, and they're gonna try to do the best that they can to win. It doesn't mean off the court that they're gonna be, you know, going out to dinner, going out to lunch. You know, and so they're doing it because they want to perform better, and they know that those two, you know, I get what you're saying. Like, okay, we know we got a riff. We're gonna do this right now so we can really try to work on it. But that's a good thing. Even if that's the reason, that's a good thing because it could develop into,
But it got
really
feel
pure
natural.
chemistry.
It's not. If it's not natural, then don't fake it because when you're doing things like that, you could shut the rest of the team out by doing that. Because if you and him trying to have a 2-man game, that's cool. You have a 2-man game once in a while in the game, but you can't make it seem unnatural.
Right, and they got to figure out. They have to figure out the balance. If they do develop a 2-man game, you got to figure out the balance. But still, I don't know if they're. Because when you're in the locker room and when you're having meetings and you're practicing, you know what I mean? And it may not, like Steph said the other day, it may not even be words being said, but the feeling, you can feel.
Yeah, you can feel it.
The tenseness, right? You can feel the atmosphere, like they say all the time at the playoff games, you can cut the intensity with a knife. Or whatever they say, you know what I mean?
Bro.
And you can feel it, even if words haven't been said. You can feel it,
right?
And just like I mentioned, when we were watching the game. Listen, they played a 2-man game. They scored, and I didn't see even a look. I'm happy, a fist bump, high five, whatever. All of the teammates, they slap your hands, whatever. Those two, never.
Right.
I never seen it this season.
Not even a point. Like you,
it's like cool.
You made a play together. You point at each other, make the eye contact. Not even that. It's just like go my separate ways. Yeah.
I mean, I did see over by the scorer's table. He passed it to Fournier. Fournier made the shot, and Randall tapped him on the chest, and he gave Randall a smack. Andy, you watch the game's over. You'll see it tomorrow.
Okay. I'm gonna look forward to. I want to look forward. This is Randall. Let's see what Randall has to say.
I know he's frustrated.
He
wears emotions on his sleeves.
He looked frustrated.
He can't hide it.
I don't know if you guys can't see it, but you see his face.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Down by -30 today. Defensively, what did you find most concerning about?
Just the multiple efforts. They're a good team, and obviously with Jokic at the head of the snake, for them it's a little bit unorthodox. The 5 is basically like the point guard for them. So it takes a lot of different multiple efforts and stuff like that. And I think the biggest thing probably defensively is our communication isn't great right now.
So that being the case, how do you address that?
We got to talk more, obviously. And have game plan discipline and listen to each other while we're out there. But we got to, go home and really take a long look in the mirror and just see how we're going to change it. We know we can do it. We've done it. But, we're in a funk right now. It's hard. It's tough. It's not fun. But we have the ability and, power to change it. And it's really going to be up to us if we want to.
Are you finding in these situations when you're down like this and you guys are trying to make the home run plays to get back in the games, are you sensing that there's pressing offensively in particular, like on nights where the 3 balls are falling?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit pressing, but we shouldn't have to press. I said it all year. I mean, I'll continue to say it. We're going to win games with our defense. That's who we are. We're not the superstars, 3-4 superstars on a team like Brooklyn or all these other teams. We're a team, and how we were last year, how we have to be this year as well. We got to win games with our defense. And offensively, we got to understand that some nights it's going to be going, some nights it's not. But how we're going to win is defense. And then rebounded. I feel like there was a couple times we got some critical stops. We're trying to make a push to really get back into it or slow them down a little bit. And, they got an offensive rebound or something like that. I don't think they had many second chance points today. But I feel like the ones they had were just critical. Kind of backbreakers.
With that being said, you got the top 4. What's been the difference?
I think it's like you said, multiple efforts. Like I said before, multiple efforts. Our communication. Like I think that was the biggest thing. Like you play a team like today, when there's so much movement and cutting, and then you got Jokic, the big fella. You got to communicate, and I feel like our communication wasn't great today. And then I think what's really hurt us too is the rebounding. When you get teams 2-3 cracks at scoring, it expends a lot of energy. Like when you're on defense and you got to keep fighting, and they get a rebound, you got to fight again. Like it's tough. You expend a lot of energy, so we got to clean up the rebounding, and we'll get better at it.
You guys talked a lot about communication. Principally this year as being a thing that you got to improve. What specifically there? Like, are you guys misidentifying plays? Are you just being too quiet? Are you too late to recognize?
Too quiet. I mean, it's a lot of different things, man. Like I wish I could tell you and run down the list of things of who we are as a team, defensively and coverages and all that. But I'll be here for a long time. Like it's a lot of little details of things that maybe like the average eye, like fan, no disrespect to you or any fans or anything that might not see, but like the little things like being at the nail, helping. So the ball doesn't get downhill into the paint, so we're put in rotation, like little things like that, that we can get better at, and it just takes a certain level of focus and intensity, like coach tells us, and we got to commit to it.
There's many details that could be corrected. It seemed like doesn't seem like that we're just looking at it this year.
I mean, I just think we got to understand that, like, I don't like talking about last year, obviously, just because it's a new year and, we're a different team and all that different type of stuff. So I'm not going to talk about it, but I just think we got to understand that in order to win games, we got to play really hard, extremely hard. We got to have game plan discipline. And we got to win games on defense. Like, if our offense is great. That's just a bonus. But who we are as a team, how we built this team and this culture is just fighting defensively. The togetherness, just the effort, the hustle plays. I feel like that's what the city of New York loves. That's what the fans love. When they know we're out there giving it our all. And I think sometimes we just are a little bit too lax, or like we might think like the little details don't matter sometime or whatever it is, but we just got to understand to get out of this, we got to do it together. I have to be better. Everybody has to be better. And I'll take responsibility for the team. I'll take responsibility for myself. Like, that doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, I just want to win. I think I know everybody in that locker room wants to win too. So, we got today, we got tomorrow. Coach said we got tomorrow off. We got to look ourselves in the mirror and decide what we want the season to be. I know what I want it to be. I know what the guys want it to be, but we got to commit to it. And that's just really what it is.
When you mentioned what the fans love, that style, you hear it today here at home. I don't know if you hear it.
I don't care about the boos. That doesn't bother me. Like, I'm focused on the game, like looking at the game, like seeing, what's going on out there and how we can improve, how it can help, whatever it is. Like, the boos is a part of the game, but you just got to learn how to block out the noise and just keep pushing forward.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks have a day off tomorrow. They got a day off. Tips gave them a day off. Told them to reflect on what they want out of this season. Hopefully it works. I Am Jarrell said Randall looks like Cornerstone Kev after losses.
Sim.
Man, Cornerstone be looking rough after a loss, boy.
Sim, did he just say he don't care about the Bulls?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that, Mark, because he said, like, listen, I don't care about, that he doesn't care about things. Listen, you should care about it.
Because when Philly goes
I understand that you can block it out. I understand you can block it out and say, like, listen, this is not rattling us, but we care about what people think. he's like, we don't care about the boos of the fans, whatever.
But
you can't worry about what fans think. Fans is on something different. If I'm a player and I'm not worrying about the fans booing. I'm focused, and like he said, I'm focused on the game. I'm focused on what we need to do. I'm not focused on the fans. Like, if you're a basketball player, that's what you're going there. That's on your mind, that the fans were booing.
But Steph,
you're not playing well.
Steph, this is another thing. You should care that people boo you, but you should be able to block it out, like he said. After all, but you should care. That sounded for me like he doesn't give an F about fans or whatever.
A lot of players say that.
I took that differently,
Andy.
though. I didn't take it as him saying I don't care about the fans. Right. I took it as him saying I'm in the midst of the game. I don't care what they're saying or what they're doing. I'm trying to win this basketball game. That's not what I'm worried about.
Right.
For example, when Philly booed Embiid, you know what he did? He embraced it and said, I'm going to come out and do better. That's what he should have said.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's semantics. I think that's what he meant. I think that's what he meant. No, because he probably meant what you're saying, but he didn't verbalize it that way. You see, that's why it's semantic.
Yeah.
How many players in the NBA, they're going to respond the way Julius responded, much more than they're going to respond the way Embiid responded. He probably ain't used to it. This is every day. If you don't play well in the Garden, they're going to boo. That's just it. I wouldn't be worried about it either. But it's not saying you're not worried about the game. It's not saying you're not worried about why they're booing. They're booing because you're not playing well. And of course, I'm worried about that. But them actually booing, I'm not focused on that if I'm a player.
Me personally, this way your conscience will play in it, because if I'm playing for my home team and you're not worried about the fans not enjoying the team not winning, that is not saying it's a problem.
But that's not what
he's worried about the fact
that. That's not what he's saying. He's not saying I'm not worried about. I don't think he's saying. I don't think he's saying I'm not worried that they're not enjoying the game or that they're not enjoying because we're losing. I think he's saying my focus is not on the fans. My focus is on the basketball game. I think it's more that.
Right. And as long as he's caring about the fact that they're losing, that's the most important thing. Now, if he said, I'm not focused, we losing, because that's why they're booing, because they're making bad plays. So he is concerned about that.
I'm just going to tell you why I think that was a lie from him. Because when MSG didn't have fans, they were playing better.
Gmo said something the other day. Correlation is not causation.
Right, exactly.
Don't praise Gmo.
Yeah. Correlation is not causation.
I really don't think it has to do with the fans.
Andy, you a little feisty, boy.
I think it has more to do with, teams defending Randall, defending the Knicks differently. The Knicks don't have the same makeup that they had last year. So there's a different makeup with the team. All of those things come into play. I don't think it has to do with the fans in the crowd. Being there, not being there. I mean, I guess some things can, because you get some players who maybe get a little bit antsy when they get in front of, they got 20,000 people watching. They might get nervous and stuff like that. I mean, I get that part. I think it really has more to do with the strategy of the basketball game. Which is even worse. Which is probably even worse.
How about the fans just not liking the effort what's being produced on our home court?
Absolutely.
I get that. The fans got the right to boo.
That's all. I don't like it either. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if Julius Randle tells me that he cares that I am dissatisfied at the moment, then I'm going to be worried. Exactly. Yeah, you should be worried about.
Not focused.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, look at Melo. You remember Melo, right?
Yes.
And the crowd started booing him. And then all of a sudden in the game, when he scored, now he's turning to the crowd saying, no, don't cheer me. I wanted him to just focus on the game.
Right.
You remember that? You remember when he did that?
Carmelo, though.
I know. I get that, but I wanted him to just be focused on the game. Don't worry about what the crowd is doing.
Right. No.
You know what I'm saying? He turned around, no, don't cheer me now. Don't cheer me now. All of that. I mean, it was funny. It was funny. I did laugh.
Melo's a gentleman. He always got a smart remark.
Melo was communicating on those rebounds. That thing with RJ Barrett would never happen. He yelled out stuff, that
all the
was
time,
bleeped out of the cameras.
Yeah, you hear Melo, you hear Melo on TNT. Get the F out of here! I mean, you hear Melo, but always you hear Melo. I got it. Yeah.
Yo, those Lakers are blowing my guy's chance of the ring. I'm never gonna forgive them. But go on, yeah.
I'm glad the Lakers is losing. What are you talking about?
Nah, you bugging. What?
I'd love to see that West Coast team destroy itself within.
Shout out to Fred Wong. Thank you for the super
Who
chat.
said this 20 times in the chat? We
I
all
know.
read.
He did. I've seen it. We all get it.
Jesus Christ!
Too late.
Thank you for the money, though.
Hey, guess what? When you're in this deep, you can't turn back. You die with the lie. Okay, we're going down with the ship, buddy. All right, the program. All right,
1-4 without.
Thank you, Steph, for pointing that out because I wanted to, but
He did. I seen it a whole bunch of times. Nobody was reading it, so he said, "Okay, I gotta read this."
Let me throw a $5 buckle. $5.
You trying to make a statement? I'm gonna hit him with super chat. This gonna hit hard.
Throw them more money in the problem.
Maybe not behind down.
He said 1-4 without Kemba, 0-3 since he's been out of the rotation, and now we're under 500. Tibbs is the problem. He's not coaching to his players' strengths.
I think we miss Michael Dean Woodson. I think that's what we're missing right now because accountability is a theme right now. Accountability seems to be in the air. I smell some accountability problems in the locker room, and I'm happy for the guy, but I wish we still had him.
I'm just saying the effort is not there from us from a nightly basis. It's like pulling out a card out of a hat. We're gonna get this Knicks one night, and then that type of Knicks the next night. So it's just like again, they're trying to figure it out. It might take another 10 games. It might take another 15. But
I know Andy has a joke for this one.
Effort and shot making.
Yeah.
Effort and shot making.
But remember what Tips said, stuff. When you watch the Knicks, when they do have open shots, they don't actually take the shot when it's given to them. They always either pump, fake, or dribble it.
Right. Yeah, that's
what he keeps bringing up. He said,
right there.
Take the shot. Because that could have been the shot that could have went in. You going away from that, you're messing with what could work. So it's on the players too, because they do a lot of not taking the shot when it's there for them.
Right.
So you're not executing the offense.
Right.
Hey, listen. I had to come in here real quick. I'm still at work.
Don't mess up the mood, yo. We flowing right now, so I'm just saying.
Mark, I know you're not. Mark, you talking about stopping the mood. All right, Mark. You always do that, Mark. You always do that. All I'm saying is, let me say something about because I'm listening. I'm listening to his post game. He says the same stuff over and over again, but I don't see a different result.
I mean, the team is doing the same things over and over again.
Today,
the team is doing the same things over and over again.
But today bothered me because it's like he's talking about we're going to win with our defense. Bro, are you serious? Are you serious today? After you leave Sip, I know when you do a coach's corner, you could do a compilation.
He didn't absolve himself.
I know that, but we're talking about you're the leader. When you're the leader, you gotta be the one to do the change behavior. You gotta start off first. You can't leave Najee, whatever his name is. I was gonna say Najee Harris, but he played for the Steelers. But Najee, whatever his name is, you leave him open all game. You don't have
to leave him open. The players left him open. I'm sure that was not the defensive plan to leave him open.
Hold on, sir.
That wasn't the defensive plan. To leave him open.
He was all over the floor, bro. The teams has
He's talking about Randall. He's talking about Randall.
But, I thought you were talking about Tibbs. I'm like, what do you expect Tibbs to do?
Look at your Y'all about to adjust logic, yeah.
I thought you were talking about Tibbs. Like, what do you want him to do? Okay.
No. Steph, I'm talking about Randall. Randall, I'm listening to the interview. I'm like, bro, you're talking about yourself. And again, I'm not saying he's not absorbing himself. I'm not saying that. But you can't every time he losing these interviews, and we've been losing a lot, he says effort. We got to do this. We're going to win with our defense. You can't say you're going to win with your defense, and then I'm watching you all game leave your guy open literally the whole game. This dude averaged 6.8 points and got his career high.
In all fairness, though, for him and the rest of the team, the rotations were poor.
But
it's not like he just sat there in his face and.
But Steph, it's lacking. No, I got you.
When somebody drives, they over-responded. Once they over-responded, you're leaving people open. So now you pass it to one guy, you scramble, and they make one more pass. That guy is wide open. It started with over-committing on the drive. You got to be disciplined in that respect.
No, I agree with you, Steph, because look, right, there was a play when we was watching the game that Sim pointed out during a break where we literally saw a rookie Quentin Grimes fight over 2 screens to stay with his man, and it worked.
Right.
They had a bad possession. But we're not seeing it, and again, I do agree with you, Mark. It is our guards. Our guards are causing a lot. People are complaining about Mitchell Robinson being sucky this year.
That's why he looks bad.
It's a lot about our guards that are making it bad. That's including Derrick Rose. That's why we had to get rid of Kimba. I don't know why people are going to start doing this Kimba crap. He literally sucks on defense. We can't play him.
Kimba would have got sucked in and threw out.
And then even today with Quickly, I'm looking at Quickly today.
Ew.
Quickly is getting blown by Capazzo. I'm watching him. He had 2 of his fouls was because Capazzo was causing havoc.
Yeah.
Again, our guards got to step up, because if our guards can't step up, the Randall and them can't step up. RJ can't be the only one defending. He's gonna look even worse because he has to cover up for everybody's messes.
But this is where Isaiah. But this is where when you heard Randall, talk about some of the things that maybe the fans can't see or the media can't see, some of the little small details that they probably talk about in practice and those type of things come into play. And clearly, he makes mistakes as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's a team thing. The team has got to hold themselves accountable defensively. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say this though.
And Tom Thibodeau is, saying a lot of times you're going to hear themes after you hear Tom Thibodeau speak, and then you listen to the rest of the players speak. You're going to hear them saying the same things that Tom Thibodeau said, because they had this talk in the locker room already. So some of the same words you're going to hear them saying, that Tom Thibodeau said. So some of it is going to come from Tom. It's coming through their voice, but it's coming from Tom Thibodeau. You know what I mean? As far as some of the things that they see that they need to do, but I mean, the Knicks are doing the same things night in and night out.
Outside of pick and roll defense, when Jokic was hitting dudes on the screen, the amount of space he created for his guards, oh my. Our pick and roll defense, it's either you're going to fight over the screen or you're going to have to blitz it and run back hard, because the way it was getting dribble drive and the way Jokic was moving around, it was so important. As slow as he is as a player, he moved around too quick for me tonight. He was on the perimeter like a guard, just doing what he wanted. We can't allow that, because he orchestrated everything. He was toying with the Knicks. Ball moved from here to here. It was one play where he got the ball and he drove and he just kindly tapped it. It was just maestro at the passing was just incredible, bro. The Knicks, oh man,
Jokic is just doing Jokic things. He was being Jokic tonight,
and they're doing this all without Jamal Murray too. That's the wild part to me. Like when that dude gets
back. 6 injured players.
We know. 1975 Jamrock said, "Did you guys see Tibbs call out RJ in the post game? We just watched it. Yeah, we seen it. But I have another question. Do you guys think that Tibbs' words are beginning to fall on deaf ears?
If that's the problem, man, those players don't have the right to do that.
If that's the problem, we're going to see a Jeff Van Gundy situation that he's going to finally resign and leave this mess alone.
Yeah,
But why though? The Knicks weren't successful. The Knicks lost in the playoffs in 6 games. They won 1 playoff game.
And
so I don't know if they're at the point where they could be tuning someone out.
Yeah, you can't do that. What did they prove?
Exactly.
I mean, you know, sometimes if players aren't responding,
if they don't believe in the plan
on the floor, then sometimes it means that not that they're not listening and paying attention, but sometimes the voice wears thin, and you just, you know, like you might have a teacher that's always getting on you, and then sooner or later you're just like, they're just gonna say the same thing.
I can
Whatever.
understand if we'd have lost last year, but he showed you a blueprint.
I know.
What you have to do.
I get it. I know.
So he's leading y'all because he showed you the blueprint. And after 1 year, y'all think y'all have the right to say, "Oh, I'm not gonna listen to what he has great for us." It's not like he's not trying to coach the team. I can understand if Tibbs was on the bench just sitting there and allowing these guys to do what the hell they want. So he's up at it, telling them screen, move the ball, this and that. He has to tell them to do what is necessary to play the game. So if that's the case, those plays have to go. Because if they're that soft, they have to go. They can't play here for me. Because if I'm watching that and hearing that, oh, no.
I agree with Mark. Under that circumstance, anybody can get traded. Anybody can get lost. Because one thing that we're not going to do is act like Tom Thibodeau doesn't know how to have a winning season or instill a good winning culture. We've seen him do it for other team, for the other team that he coached successfully, the Chicago Bulls. And he's a veteran at this, and he knows more basketball. And Minnesota, even though things probably didn't shake out the way that he wanted to over there. But I think we have a good protection against that because everybody's going to respect Derrick Rose. Okay?
Taj.
And Taj Gibson, right? So we have 2 Tibbs ambassadors in the locker room. I think we still have some mileage to go before Tibbs loses the team. But if he doesn't show some more shrewdness on offense in terms of changing up these sets, then we might see exactly what Simeon's talking about.
I hope not.
Savvy.
Let me ask you this. Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. Let me ask you this. Yeah. We are getting open shots. I still would like to see a little more variation because I feel like we're predictable. Although we do get open shots, I feel like we're predictable and there's ways we could play better. Is Mike D'Antoni working right now?
I don't think so.
Isn't he with the Nets?
No, he left.
No.
I think he's with Indiana. No, is he with Indiana? No, he didn't take that job. No. I don't think he's working.
Man,
I would take him to the offense.
Mike. If I was Tibbs, I might give Mike D'Antoni a call and say, you know,
because Woodson
help me to get something flowing on the offensive side, something that really utilizes everybody, you know.
Because Woodson is a good offensive coach.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
D'Antoni would combust in flames trying to get this team to do what he wants them to do on offense.
You're probably right.
The first thing you do, get me a point guard.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Get me a point guard.
Who's on this team? Just get me a point guard. I don't care what it takes. Get me a point guard.
You're right about that. That'd be the first thing. Point guard.
Yeah.
Got to go get me a point guard.
We miss Woody because one thing with Woody, he understands spacing. And what's happening in the West? The spacing is horrible. The spacing, the timing is horrible.
Yeah.
One thing
timing too.
Woody knew how to position players in his offense and how he spaced the floor. And I think losing Woody kind of hurt us because who's our offensive coach?
I mean, I think losing Woody hurt us in more than just the offense. I think, you know, just his
being
overall
elderly,
presence.
being a father,
Yeah, I think we miss him there. Go ahead.
Because
Steph.
one thing what Carmelo said, when Carmelo walked in, he walked up to Carmelo and said, listen, we're going to change what you're doing. Because Carmelo said it on one of these podcasts. He said, you couldn't mess with Mike Woodson. He said, we're going to do this, and then we're going to stick to it. I don't care how you play. You're going to change the game for the team. So I think a lot of that is missing.
Before I learned about Tibbs' resume, like in a real way, right? I was kind of upset that Mike Woodson wasn't the head coach and that we didn't bring Tibbs in to be the defensive coach, right? But now that I know Tibbs' resume, I like him as our head coach. But not only losing Mike Woodson, but the time in which we lost him right before that run in the playoffs, like just the things he could have taught and some of the things that we could have taken going forward. I'm like, that was a blow, man.
Yeah.
Like, and one thing, Savvy.
So hold on, let me get to Steph. Let me get to Steph. Steph was going to say something. Go ahead, Steph.
I just think people forget Mike Woodson offensively.
It's great.
Carmelo held the ball in ISO and everybody was standing around. So I don't really get how Mark Woodson was all of this offensive. It was worse than the offense we're seeing now. I mean, people complaining about this offense.
Steph, the year Carmelo had with Mike Woodson,
right?
He was
Carmelo had.
I was hot that year.
What was that? Let me ask you this.
He also had a point guard.
Let me ask you this. Was that Woody or was that Jason Kidd?
That had to be Woody because the spacing was there. Carmelo started to trust his players. That also.
What happened the year? I mean, obviously there were a bunch of injuries and stuff. But when Jason Kidd left, the offense looked way different.
Went right back.
But then our key players that we relied on that year, they all started to get injured. The key players, Tyson Chandler got hurt.
They did.
Everything started to fall apart. So you can't really put down Carmelo because you've seen it work. We were blowing.
I'm not blaming Melo, but
it was one season, Mark. Most of the time Melo was here, it was ISO Melo. That was the problem Phil Jackson had, was that he did not want to move the ball and play a motion offense.
What did Phil Jackson put around? He went and traded for Bob.
The same thing with Randall. Well, then if you want to say that, who is the front office putting around Randall, if that's what you want to say?
Right. To this very day, I insist, I will die with this on this hill. Phil Jackson was here to sabotage the New York Knicks. He was not trying to help us.
Yeah.
One
He
bit.
didn't want the job. He got him for $60 million. Who wouldn't? He was sleeping on the job.
And we begged him to do it too. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Let me get to Fred Wong again. Thank you for the super chat. Said he's going to come up with a different point to make this time. I appreciate you, man. He said, stay with your man.
This is a $10 point.
Right. He said, stay with your man. If someone gets beat, they just get beat. Give up two rather than wide open threes. Players are too talented in today's NBA to get left open free. Hashtag free the easy pass. It's not his fault. I mean, you got to play help defense because if you are, I mean, stay with your man. Stay with your man. But if you can't stay with your man, you got to have some help side defense. I think part of the issue, and we pointed this out while we were watching the game too, because I think, I don't remember who it was, whoever it was from the Nuggets got another open three, and Randall, Derrick Rose was guarding Jeff Green down on the box. This was in the second half, right?
It was Aaron Gordon, and it was Campazzo and
No. This is this was in the second half, and Randall, he from the wing, he went down to help out, but he was too deep. Jeff Green didn't even have the basketball. The ball was at the top of the key. He was just too deep, and when the ball got swung to his man, he wasn't getting out in time. Right. And it really was just because he went too deep. He came out and contested the shot, but he was just too deep to be able to get there in time. You know what I'm saying? His guy had time to make sure his feet was right, get in rhythm, pull it up. If Randall just takes 2 steps closer to his man, when that pass is there, he's there when the ball gets there. You know what I mean? And his man doesn't get that shot off. Sometimes it really is more just about, when are we helping and when do we stay close to our man? Right? And understanding the distance, the space and the distance between.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They be biting too hard.
Overhelp.
They be biting too hard.
I see times.
And 4 people. We don't need everybody.
Right. I see times when the ball is way over here. And you have someone like almost in the center of the lane. And I'm like, why do you have to be that deep?
No one's talking.
And then the ball gets swung to their guy and it's a wide open 3 or something like that. Sometimes we just help. just
We be biting
overhelp.
like
Overhelp.
our life is dependent on it. Let's see what he's gonna do, and then you counter it.
Right.
We counter it as soon as we see the guy come. Like,
You know, so those things have to, then
This whole team
you hear
is
Tom
horrible.
Thibodeau talk about a lot, moving on the flight of the ball, not when the ball is halfway to your man or your man catches it, you move on the flight. As soon as that ball leaves the passer's hands, you're on your way to your rotation. Things like that, little things like that, really have to be corrected. And so I don't think it's just about the scheme of helping. But you got to do it right. You got to do it right.
We need that vocal talk.
How you think on the floor? How you think on the floor? Like, Thing said it the other day. Like Draymond, he has a weird way of playing defense because he's worried about. He knows if I stand like this, I can catch the guy on a dribble drive. It's ways of anticipating players, and I don't think we do that very well. And again, we can't. Our guards are very slow-footed to guard the perimeter guards because, Lord, the pick and roll is just
devastating.
It's just devastating. It's like once they run a pick and roll, they have like 4 other options on their offensive side that they can go to. So it's not our team got to learn to talk to each other. That's what we don't do. We don't talk to each other at all. At all. So that's why the miscommunication. Any times where we be all together in a bunch in the middle of the court, like, what are we doing?
I know.
Yeah, I seen it.
Those be the ones too. Those be the ones that just, oh my God, like.
And then you expect Mitch to follow up on something? Like
I agree.
I think Mitch could do a lot of help in being more vocal. He was more vocal after DeAndre Jordan left because DeAndre Jordan preached that to him that you do need to be talking more. And with his court vision, right? And he kind of stands between the youth and the starters with his position and his age. And I think that if he can make some good reads and call things out and be more vocal and speak to the team, I think that would help a lot. But everybody got to talk to each other.
Yeah, Mitch don't even know what's going on with his own assignment. I can't see him being a quarterback back there.
Yeah, seriously.
It's true. It's true. But at the same time,
you can't expect him to guards every possession, bro. He's a big man. He's going to get tired.
I'm not saying he needs to guard them. I'm saying this as a way to avoid him having to get in that position in the first place.
Yeah, what he does well is that he shows. Like, he at least shows. I like that. When a big man shows, that's good enough when you're guarding the guard. But whoever allow that guard to go like that, that's on them, bro. You can't expect Mitch to cover up other people defensive assignments, bro. He's gonna look bad. And look, the last couple of games, he just looks bad.
Mark, Mitch does that by mistake, bro. That's a mistake by him. That's why you think he's doing that.
Yeah. Let me get to a phone call. Let me get to a phone call here. Caller, you live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Okay, I've been a Knicks fan for quite a while. I think right now it's supposed to be a rebuilding team. I think we're really moving too fast right now, trying to win everything right now. I follow tips from Chicago to Minnesota, now to New York.
Mm-hmm.
I think the players seem to be getting tired of listening to him. This is what happened in Minnesota. First year they went in the playoffs. Second year they struggled like the Knicks are doing right now, and eventually was let go. We're supposed to be developing young players. He doesn't play young players. He just want to win right now, at all costs. When I listened to Rondo, he said we are in a funk right now. I don't hear that from the coach. All you keep talking about is about going back to the drawing board, trying to correct mistakes, but they're making the same mistake over and over again. We don't prepare to start the game. That has to be on the coach. Where is the energy from get-go? We don't have it, so we keep playing behind all the time. Players get tired, and you play about 8 or 9 players every game. You don't tap the brains of the young players you have with fresh legs. You stay with Rondo all the time. That's what he does in Chicago. He plays with the old guys. This is a rebuilding team. You see, we need to keep eye on where we are heading to. Right now, a step back. There's a lot of games to be played. I understand 61 more games to be played, and there's hope. But I don't think this man's going to get us there. I'm sorry to say. Okay? we need someone who could help develop young players and make them part of game. Because all we do is trade them away. Every time we draft young players, following 2 years, we trade them away. That's not how you rebuild a team. That's my main concern. I'm sorry. That's what I just want to say about Tibbs. I think the players are tired of listening to whatever he's saying right now. I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I appreciate your call, man. Appreciate the call. I hope that's not the case, because if it is the case that he's already lost the locker room, or they're just not hearing him right now, that's a big problem, really big problem. You know what I mean? Really big problem. But like Savvy Mark saying, it's been 1 year. He helped the team to make it to the playoffs from winning 20-something games the previous year to making it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
All on defense.
All on defense. And if you can't listen to that, then maybe the problem is you, not the coach. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
If you can't listen to that. I gotta agree with that.
I would trade a star player if they talk like that.
Yeah. Caller, you live. Tell me your name, where you from, please.
Neville Humphreys, Sam.
Hey, what's going on?
And I've been a member for 9 months, 7 days, according to your record.
Oh, for real?
Long run.
Okay, so what you have to do? What you have to do?
The reason I call is because I disagree with mostly all your panel. Besides, I think Mark is the one that came closest to what I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I predicted this was coming. Actually, last year, after Tom Thibodeau won the Coach of the Year, I asked Macquarie. He has a thing where you can ask him a question as a member. So I don't think you have that feature. But he has a feature where you can ask him questions. And my question to him was that, can Tibbs go back to coaching? Go back to learning how to coach the offense. Because to me, all of last year, even though they made the playoff, the biggest issue with the Knicks was how their offense is very simplistic. It's so basic. They attack you basically from outside in. They don't have guys moving, pick and roll. There's no time I have seen a point guard just pick Randolph man. Just, a simple just pick him for him to come from one side of the court to the other side of the court. That would give him a easy shot. Or even Randall in the post where a guy like Kemba, say when Kemba was playing, just make a cut to the baseline. Some simple moves like that, simple plays where they have guys going in all the way, and we making passes to those guys when they cut in the middle. Right now, the game, I didn't see much of this game, so I cannot tell you. But the last game I saw guys going in the lane and coming out. They dribble the ball in the lane and they come out. Like, what is that? They don't go through the entire lane. Guys don't cut and go through the entire lane. And the Knicks system is still based on about 50% to 60% of just dribble, just one guy trying to dribble around his guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's not a competent offense. Like it or not, that's not a competent offense. And that's why I asked Macquarie if this coach would go back to school to learn the offense, because I believe he's a great defensive coordinator. That's how I look at Tibbs, as a great defensive coordinator. But he hasn't applied himself on the offensive side of the ball. And the reason the team is falling apart, let me tell you the reason the team is falling apart, in my opinion. My opinion, since the season started, even since last year, there's one player on the Knicks I believe can play all 5 positions. Actually, 2 players, and they both forwards. Randall is one, and Obi is another. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say that about Obi is because Obi has the quickness. He has the speed. If you put Obi next to anybody, he's going to outrace them. He's going to outquick them. to me, Obi is like a Corvette. If you have a Corvette and you tell a Corvette to go on the highway, it beats everybody.
Right.
But if you put a Corvette next to a Beetle, it's obviously the Corvette is going to win that race. But Obi on defense is like a Corvette with restrictions. You asking him to play because on defense he cannot just go where he wants to go. He has to go where the other player will take him. So he has to learn how to restrict his speed because in reality, Obi's actually going much faster than everybody else. So he has to learn to slow down, which is control.
Control.
Nobody teaches this kid how to mitigate his speed, how to slow down. Just go a little faster than the opponent. It's similar to like I said, if you put a Corvette next to the Beetle and you tell the Corvette, hey, you cannot go more than two lengths of the Beetle, and you can only win by half of the Beetle, by a nose. That's the only way you're going to win. Otherwise, you disqualify. The Corvette will have problems with that. That's why Obi having a lot of problems. It's not that Obi cannot guard. It's that Obi has to learn to restrict. He has to learn control of how fast he's going. Because it's not the same when he's on offense. When he's on offense, he knows where he wants to go.
Right. Nah,
he can go wherever he wants to go.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get it. But, I think that's going to take some experience, take Obi being in the league, some experience and those type of things. But, hey, Neville, I think hopefully I said your name right.
I agree with that. And I think there's a player that can help him, really grasp that concept because I'm pretty sure Derrick Rose have went through the same process.
Yes. Derrick Rose kind of.
And right now, we there are times where he makes spectacular plays.
Yeah.
On defense.
I hear you, man. Hey,
so he can.
I appreciate your call. Thank you for your call. Let me get to another call here. B-Baller for real says, is he calling Randall a beetle? I don't think so. I don't think he's calling Randall a beetle. I think he was doing an analogy. About, Obi learning to control his body, learning to control his speed, so on and so forth. Let me get to another caller here. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Hey, my name is Zaheem Jones.
What's going on with you, man?
Hey, I just have so much to say, man. I don't understand this team, man. I feel like we in a funk. I feel like Tibbs is stubborn. I feel like we keep playing so bad because guys are tired. And he weird Randall out. He played him like the whole third quarter. Also, I feel like what y'all was talking about earlier about Woody, that's what's really hurting us. And I feel like we should have picked up Terry Scott as an offensive coach. But I feel like our offense is just the same thing over and over and over and over. Like, it's so easy to play us on defense. We don't run any plays. Like, I just wish the Knicks would take like a book out of Golden State. Like, I wish they would cut more, move the ball more. Because right now, we really need a point guard. It's really hurting us right now. Like, we can't do anything without a point guard. Also, I feel like what hurt us today is Mitch on the Jokic. I feel like Tibbs should have went Randall and Obi because we have no one to go at Jokic as our big man. Like, it's such a liability. Like, we have two big men that play the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mitch Robinson and Noel is the same players. And Mitch, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm done with Mitch. I'm ready to see him get traded. I feel like we need like a scoring big, someone that can open up the floor more for us.
I don't know where you get them right now, because those type of centers are a commodity in the league right now. So if you have a center that can shoot the rock, team's not trying to give that up.
Yeah, but I feel like we've been looking at Miles Turner for so long. Why don't the Knicks try to do it? Because right now is like he's killing us. Like he gained all his weight, and it's like, why you gain all his weight? It's like he can't move anymore. I'm watching him. Like, every game I watch the Knicks, he can't move. He has no offense. It's like, where did he really get better at? It's like, okay, he doesn't get all these fouls anymore, but he's still the same player.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Knicks are messing up R.J. Barrett development because I think when they got Fournier and Kemba, it's like like he said earlier, like he's trying to figure out his spots. He don't know what to do. Like it's like he get the ball like so late to make moves and stuff. Like it's taking him out of rhythm. Like when we drafted him, one thing I could say about David Fizdale, he had him with the ball in his hand. He made good decisions. That's RJ's game, and we don't cut. No one cuts. At least when Randall get the ball, he should be cutting. Like it just him and RJ is not a good fit together. I just don't like it. Like he just sits there. Everybody just looks at Randall.
But they don't use Randall and RJ together much. You know what I'm saying? Like those two don't work together much on the floor. They have them on the opposite sides of the floor. I don't know if it's because they're both left-handed. I don't see that should be a problem, but they don't use them together at all, really. I mean, how many? Every once in a while you'll see Randall. He'll find RJ as a shooter. Every once in a while he'll hand it off, but you don't see Randall and RJ doing what Randall and Fournier does together.
Yeah.
Right. You never see that.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna cut you off.
Hey, yo, I have a question for the caller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I agree with you halfway about what you said about Mitch, right? But did you not? Did you see how he did against Joel Embiid and what's that guy that used to play for the Cavs that we almost got?
Jared Allen,
the big man.
Drummond.
Drummond. Do you think that he showed the capability with that new weight in that game, but since then he's needed to be more rapid?
Yeah,
hasn't been able to do
for those guys like the Drummonds and the Joel Embiid, like the Rudy Goberts, it's fine because they're not. Oh well, no, Joel Embiid's different, but like the Rudy Gobert and Andre Drummond, they're not as skilled as like Jokic, like them. Good center. Jokic is very skilled. Like he has a hard time, like the Miles Turners and the people that they can shoot, like the Cat, Karl-Anthony Towns. He can't defend those guys no more. Like the old him, I seen him blocking threes, like chasing. He just can't move. Like, and he just always hurt. Like I'm just tired of seeing it. Then when Noel come in, he's hurt. It's like, where do we go? Like for our big men, like we can't rely on Taj Gibson. He's older now. It's like my thing is like, why not? They're not going to extend his contract, so they might as well trade him. Try to get someone that can score. Because right now we're hurting that we need a point guard, we need a big, and he just need to play. To me, he need to play grounds more because I feel like those guys be tired. Like he played them the whole third quarter. Like they don't have no energy. That's why I think they don't have no energy to get back in these games. I mean, like they keep getting these slow starts, like in third quarter. I watch every game. It's like it's the same thing, and they offense. I hate it. It is very old school. Just pick and roll, or everyone shooting a three, or just quick. It's like there's no ball movement, nothing. There's no cutting, nothing. I just hate looking at it. And he just lets Randall do anything. I know he's our star, but it's like I feel like we need someone to get in Randall ear. And no leadership. Like when I was team, no one talking, no one like yo, let's go. Even Randall, he just shows emotions. Like when he turns the ball over, he's mad, but the ball's in your hand. And him and Fournier, I don't think they really like it.
That's why I was really upset to see that we couldn't get Lonzo, because and Sim wanted Lonzo too, and I was like, if we could have just gotten him, I think that would have changed a lot. But if we would have had Mitch in that series against Atlanta, I think that would have really helped us. I think the timing of his weight add on is bad timing considering he's getting back off an injury, and also his injury history has poorly timed his progression to what we need from him. And I agree with you on what we need from him. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like I play basketball. I watch a lot of basketball. Like I'm watching him. Like I watch little things when we play. I'm watching. So he can't move. Like he can't move anymore. It's nothing. Like he's having a hard time with pick and roll. Also, they don't give him the ball. So he might be one of those people in the locker room complaining too. Like there's a lot. Like the team was just dysfunctional right now. I think there's a lot going on.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot going on. Lot going on with this team. But hey, my man, I appreciate your time, man. Appreciate the call.
Thank you, man.
All right.
I feel like that meme of Charlie Day at the board and he's pointing out all the connections between everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We need more
We all over the
Corvettes
place.
out there. We need more Corvettes on the floor.
And less
John Wall?
Beagles.
Too many Beagles. Caller, you live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Hey, Sam, what's up, man? This is Ray from Brooklyn, living in Houston. How you guys doing, man? How's the panel doing?
Well, we're doing good, man. We just trying to, we're letting off some steam after today's game.
It's therapy. I get it. We all need it. And I'm so grateful for the channel. I'm so grateful for the panel. I'm so grateful for what you guys do because it's such an intellectualism that exists in this particular space that goes beyond just the on-court stuff. And I've obviously been here listening to you guys. Absolutely appreciate it. Want everybody to go on ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, do what you need to do to big this platform up. But there are a couple things I want to focus on, and I really don't want to take up too much time.
All right.
But let's start organization first before we get onto the court. Okay. I think there's not enough conversation behind the numbers, and you have a real institutional organizational problem going on here. For starters, you have a guy who is a low-tier star that you didn't expect to become a star. That was your consolation prize. He had 1 year left on his deal, $19.4 million, before you decided to extend him. And I get the concept behind that. Brock Aller, being the discount guy, wanted to get the extension done so that you don't have to pay him $200 supermax million. I thought that contract was a bit too rushed because obviously he did it, not one-hit wonder, but he only showed you 1 year. And so obviously, given the fact that the New York Knicks fan base is so thirsty for a star, I thought that we should have sold high on his stock back in June. We should have started there because the biggest need we had was getting an elite point guard. It is the quarterback of your team. You can continue to draft pass rushers. You can continue to draft all these, other positions. But if you don't have a point guard, it doesn't matter what you do. You won't go far. So, just to, I guess, wrap this up, Julius Randle makes 21 this year. He makes 23, 25, 27, 30. And this is all through 2026. Tom Thibodeau is signed up until 2025. Please ask yourself the question, at any point in this time frame, are we winning a championship? Because if the answer is no, we are not, with the likes of LeBron, with the likes of Giannis, KD, and Steph, and so on and so forth, with the advancement of your entire conference, you need to figure out who you are and what this identity you're building. I'm not saying tank. I'm just saying that you can find value in his stock. He's a 200% stock that basically broke through resistance and everything else. You sell high, and you get someone in here that is a bona fide elite number one to unlock the talent on your team. And his asset value right now forces the organization not to have to sell the farm in a way that you would have to do so if you wanted to move the younger talent. Mind you, 50% of your entire roster are kids still under rookie contracts. The other 50% are mid-to-tier mid-to-tier contracts that you can't use alone to bring in that star you really want to pair with Randall. So you're gutting your team either which way you look at unless you move Randall.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, I think that's the reason why they signed him early. Not saying that they went out looking to try to move him, but it gives them the flexibility to be able to move him if they see fit. I think that's the reason why they said, let's get this done. Randall was willing to sign early instead of trying to get a big max deal. And that put the Knicks in a situation where, he's under a favorable contract. And if they feel it's necessary to move him, they could move him. So we'll see.
That's true.
We'll see what they decide to do.
But also, as you said, we did speak a couple of weeks back when you said you spoke to the context, and I think the context matters for the fan base and for everybody watching. And I don't want us to be too hyperbolic based on what we're seeing, because I think obviously we were playing with house money last year, but we need to taper our expectations behind what we're seeing. The reality is that Randall had an amazing year. He hadn't demonstrated over a longer course of time, and that obviously has a lot to do with the new system that's in place and all that different stuff. But you spoke to the parity of the league. It's changing. This play-in is about to transform the league, especially I encourage you guys to go out and read the articles on the new NBA TV deal that is coming that's going to allow guys like RJ and other guys within his draft class to really capitalize on money. Yeah. This idea that we're just going out here to get free agents, that's not going to be what people honestly think. And if you're going to trade, remember the trades in the 90s. If you were trying to make a trade, you had to sell everything in order to get that one player. I mean, obviously in proportion and ratio to the contracts and the money they were making then. So I say all that to say this. Not only do we need to taper our expectations regarding this team, but organization-wise, we need to figure out our identity behind, hey, are we winning between now and 2026? Because if we're not, you need to go on ahead and move your highest valued asset so that way you can get a point guard like a Ben Simmons. And yes, I know everybody's going to be like, no, I don't want Ben Simmons. He's emotionally weak. I'm not the authority on people's mental fragility. I mean, he's basically like any person who's working for an employer that is undervalued and underappreciated. And sometimes you just need to change your environment to get better results. But this man is a top 3 defender. What would that look like under a defensive guru like Tibbs? This man rebounds. He's an elite rebounder. He's an elite playmaker. He has averaged 8 to 9 assists since 2017. That means with his 15 points that he's averaged since 2017, this man has been responsible by himself anywhere between 36 and 42 points. On average, from a 100-point team, I think there's some real value there. So don't talk, and I say this not to you specifically, Sim, but I say this to the fan base. Don't tell me what he doesn't do. Just tell me what he does. Because you know how many players you would have to choose and how many players you would have to get to address those 3 things? Those 3 things we are, average to subpar below average. In rebounding, assist, and defense, I would take him in a heartbeat. And that's just me, especially with Obi, who per 36 is averaging 18 and 8 on a 21% usage rate. On a 21% usage rate, this man is averaging 14 to 16 minutes per game. Imagine if you give him 20 to 25. What is he averaging then? So there's a redundancy that's happening in the position and a logjam with Julius Randle. We need to take a step back. The numbers do tell the story and stop buying into the notion that, Randall's going to figure it out. Randall is a 3rd option on the championship team. Milwaukee, LA, Golden State, Brooklyn. He's a 3rd option, and that's okay. He's a talented guy.
And that's good. And that's good. Hold.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And that's good. And that's good. Maybe he is a 3rd option on the championship team, right? And like you said, with that TV deal, with the money that he's making now, he'll be paid as a 3rd option on a championship team with the money that he's making right now. And if you're saying sell high on Randall right now, I don't think there is a sell high on Randall right now because the entire starting 5 is not playing up to their production from their previous seasons. I mean, if you look at RJ Barrett, his numbers are way down. Obviously, Julius Randle's numbers are down. Evan Fournier's numbers are way down. If you look at the entire group, Alec Burks is in the group now. His numbers are probably maybe up, since he's been in that group. But you look at the entire group, the entire numbers are down. So teams are not just going to look and say, they're not going to look at Randall as being, or the Knicks ain't going to look and say, we're selling on him high right now. He's no longer at that high. So, you're not going to do that right now. You know what I mean? if you would have did it back then,
you got a redundancy issue, Sam.
If you would have did it back then,
you got a redundancy issue, and it's going to come down to whether or not Brock
you have a redundancy
looking at
issue,
Obi,
but
who makes $5 million under a rookie contract.
But listen. You have to ask yourself. You can talk about per 36, and I looked at his per 36 numbers all you want, but that doesn't mean when he actually gets 36 minutes that he has enough endurance to continue that rate in real life. That's true. That per 36 is only extrapolating his stats over 36 minutes. It doesn't actually mean that he's going to be able to produce that for 36 minutes when he's on the floor. Now, we've never seen him on the floor for 36 minutes, so we don't know.
No, we don't.
We don't know.
We just don't.
We've never seen him on the floor for 36 minutes. But hey, Ray, I thank you for the call. Very, very, very good call. I appreciate your time. All right.
Sam, I appreciate you. I appreciate the panel. Guys, please hit the like button, subscribe. These guys, what they're doing, everything they're doing is for our benefit. Thank you for the therapy session. Love all you guys. Love what y'all doing.
Appreciate you.
Keep on doing your thing.
Peace.
God bless you, caller. God bless you.
Call again in 20 more games. I want to hear a follow-up.
And look, people keep saying about Ben Simmons. I'm not paying $30 million for him right now. I'm sorry.
That's him, but also guess what? If you get shook in Philly, what the Garden gonna do to that boy? That's my only problem with Ben. I don't need you to shoot nothing. But if you get shook and you do this whole song and dance,
so Stabby, what was Randall against?
I'm a mental health advocate, so I support that side of it. But at the same time, we need tough guys. That's why I liked Peyton, because someone asked him in the post game, we're like, oh, what does all the negative comments on the internet mean to you? And he was like, I don't care about none of y'all. That's the mentality that we need.
Yeah. I mean,
a little shooting and defense and offense would help too.
Yeah.
Offense would help.
I'm talking purely.
Right.
Continue to talk about that guy.
Purely about mentality.
Understood.
Okay, relax, Mark. Relax, Mark. Okay.
He can have all the mentality he wants. His game do not translate.
Our defense was better with him at the
and Reggie Bullock too.
Reggie Bullock too. Both of them.
I would like to
that was part of the reason why our defense was the way it was, but he's not here.
So about that. Why he couldn't sign Reggie Bullock? Because it's not like he took a lot for going to Dallas.
It was between him and Burks.
It was between him and Burks. Tibbs wanted Reggie Bullock back.
So no, let me ask you a question. So I'd rather not sign Noel to get Reggie Bullock back. In all honesty, because I think Taj is better than Noel.
Tibbs wanted.
They didn't know how.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, you don't know how long you're gonna be able to play Taj. You probably can't play
and
him.
Mitch was injured.
Yeah. I think Tibbs wanted Reggie Bullock back. Reggie Bullock back. I think he did.
So that shows me that the organization, and that caller was right. We really have to look at the organization, because if Tibbs is telling you I need him back to make our team consistent, that also could be a problem, because it looks like they're just picking what they want to pick.
But that's what I'm saying when it comes to Fournier, and maybe not Fournier, maybe
he's Orlando
Tibbs
Magic
was 50-50 with Fournier. But you can't tell me Tibbs wanted Kemba. Like, to me, that was a front office pick.
Yeah, I agree, Steph. I don't think Tibbs would let Frank go. It had to be the GMs.
Yeah.
Look at this man's face.
Uh-oh.
Can I say this one thing in response to the caller? And I want to go back to something Mark said earlier in regard to Melo.
Yeah.
Melo had one of his best seasons, and the Knicks had one of their best seasons when they brought Kid in. And it wasn't just Kid.
Vets
that Melo had to respect.
Yeah.
And they were not going to allow him to just ISO the ball all the time. I'm going to die on this hill. If we can get a veteran point guard and Randall does not have facilitating responsibilities, you're going to see Randall's game go to another level, because all he has to do is score and read the double team. That's it. You don't have to worry about getting other people involved.
And I agree. I agree. I really do agree, especially if you can get a guy that can, like we seen Fournier and Randall do that screen and roll. He got an easy bucket at the basket. If you can get a guy that can work with Randall and getting those easy buckets that way.
Steph, who is going to be?
He is a beast offensively, and he rebounds. And in a limited, just reading the double team, he can do that. You limit his role, I'm telling you, you can win with him. Not just him, though. Not just him. You're going to need other players.
Who is that point guard? That's how the limit here.
But that's the front office, though. They have to do. They have to see that Randall is not that point forward and bring that guy in.
They tried to get that point guard. That point guard they were really trying to get was Chris Paul.
Yeah, it was. But Chris
they were trying to get Chris Paul.
Probably one of them. And Sim, my question, and I wanted to chip in on this topic like hours ago because this show is going long. So
I know, man.
Yeah, listen, I think, and I'm not trying to, put out a conspiracy theory, nothing like that. But I really think that Randall needs a point guard, just like Melo did, that he was going to respect fully. And CP3 was like top probably point guard in the league. And he's like for most players, right? But except him, who's going to be that name or who's available on the current market that Randall will respect?
Right.
That's
right.
That's
right.
That's
not even that, Andy.
That's the scare. That's the issue right there. Who?
That's the issue right
there. And listen, Sim. And when we got Kemba Walker, you're looking at the resume, and it's like, listen, 4-time All-Star.
Right.
Randall was like one year All-Star. He should be like, oh damn, you the better one. I'm gonna listen up to you.
But Kemba don't have that.
And he's out of the rotation now because probably Randall, pointed out the Tibbs on his birthday. That's what he wanted.
Nah, that's not why. That's not. That's not.
Yes,
that's not why.
That's not why. He could see him in practice that he wasn't who
Yeah.
He didn't match up to his resume.
And Kemba doesn't have that personality.
No, he don't.
He don't have that personality.
He's not that commanding. I understand, but listen, it might have been a guy like Elfrid Payton that he was close with. It might have been Lonzo Ball that they played together that he knew already.
That was another
and
thing
he might
about
have
Lonzo.
listened to that guy. But listen, but except those maybe Rajon Rondo, but I don't know if he came in.
That's
and
why I think we should have overpaid.
So Andy, let me ask you a question.
What's the guy from Toronto? Lowry.
If he's going to respect someone like Elfrid Payton,
Lowry wanted to go to Miami.
He did.
But the respect sometimes it's not just about their numbers on the court.
Production.
It's not always about the production either, though. Sometimes it's about respecting that person.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, Cornerstone. What's up,
Talk
man?
about respect.
Look below you, Cornerstone.
You got
Fresh out the hotel in Dubai.
Look below you, Cornerstone. You see the comment on the screen?
No, I can't because I got my thing on here. I don't have my glasses, so y'all gonna have to read it to me.
Oh man, he don't got his glasses. He don't.
Cornerstone still lost.
It says, I am Jarrell said Randall looks like Cornerstone Kev after losses.
In the post game. In the post game.
You got a tear coming out?
Here's the thing. First of all, salute to everybody on the panel. Salute to the chat. Savvy, it's great to see you. I haven't talked to you in a long time.
Yeah, I missed you, buddy.
Yeah, I missed you too. We cannot now use the saying, well, we still have a 500 record now because we don't. We are now a game below 500.
Thank you.
We are now a game below 500. The only difference between this year and last year is that we were 4 games, I think, below 500. Now we are 1 game below 500. And you talk about a point guard that Randall respects. Which point guard does he respect?
I mean, you gotta bring in someone that demands that respect. You know, like someone in the chat just said Dame. Right, I think he would respect Dame, but you're not getting Dame here. We don't have, it's gonna be hard to get Dame here.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think you need someone of that stature. Would he respect would he?
No.
I don't know. I don't
Not
know.
if he come limping in. No.
Right. They got the Kentucky connection. They got the Kentucky connection, but I don't know. Rondo, would he? I think the Lakers want to hold on to Rondo, but I think
Rondo
he would
demands respect
Rondo.
everywhere he goes.
I think he would. I think Rondo would demand respect. Can Rondo and Tibbs? Someone just said Rondo in the chat said Rondo and Tibbs would be explosive or whatever they said.
No.
Would
he
they
will
work?
respect Tibbs because he will allow Rondo to play his game. It's when you don't allow Rondo to play his game where he will have a right with you. Rick Carlisle, because Rick Carlisle wanted to play different, but that didn't go well. But anywhere else he went that allowed Rondo to be Rondo, it always worked out. It was just Rick Carlisle because he runs a Pacific offense and he ain't backing down from no one. That's why he left Dallas.
I would agree. I would agree.
And it's quite obvious that nobody on this panel wants to give Deuce McBride a try.
The way he been looking, Sim, Jesus, he looked like a.
Somebody just tuned in. Somebody just tuned in because guess what, buddy? I found the exact date I want to put McBride in. So don't even bring that over here, pal.
1975 Jam Rock. Thank you for the super chat.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Listen, man.
Hold up, Kev. Hold up, Kev. 1975 Jam Rock. Thank you for the super chat. He said the front office told Tibbs he needed more offense in the team. He's a creature of habit and relies on players he knows or recommendations from people he trusts, i.e. Clifford, talking about Evan Fournier. But, yeah, go ahead, Kev.
No, what I was going to say, we don't have nothing to lose. I mean, this guy seems like, I don't know how tall McBride is.
He looks 6'5".
How tall?
He looks like 6'3", 6'4". He's a big guard. He's a big guard.
No, he's not. I think he's like 6'1". He's undersized.
6'1"?
McBride?
Yeah,
McBride's like
6'1".
Yeah, he's small. Small guard. It's like 6'1".
He don't
He's
look
bigger than Kemba because of the throw.
Hey, he's taller than me.
At least
let me lace up for the Knicks right quick. Let's get it.
All I'm saying is that his numbers and assists and points, and he can get up. He can get up just as good as Kemba, but then that's not saying much.
His ball handling too. I love it.
Yeah, his ball handling is great. So if we are clamoring for a point guard, we already have one that's on our team. It's not like he's in the G League where we have to maneuver or anything like that. He's already on our team, and I'm tired of listening to. I heard somebody say that, well, if he's not doing it in practice, then he's not going to, do it in the game. It's obvious that he's doing something, right in the G League games.
We're clamoring for a veteran starting point guard that Randall will respect and take the ball out of Randall's hands. I'm okay for McBride getting minutes in that second unit. I don't have a problem with it. But we're talking about a starting point guard. I don't think he's. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting McBride in the starting point guard spot.
And listen, just knowing. Hold up, Kev. Let's check it out, Kev. Just knowing who Deuce McBride is, right? We had his coach on, and he told you who Deuce is. He is going to give Randall the respect that Randall wants. And when Randall wants the ball, Deuce is going to give him the basketball.
He's going to clap for it. So
right? Deuce is going to say, okay, he's the veteran on the team. I'm giving him the ball. Go back and listen to that interview with his high school coach. That's what he's going to do. We're talking about a guy that's going to say, no, Julius, go over here. I'm going to this option right now.
We need somebody better than him
right now. We need someone who has more control over the offense than him. That's what we're talking about. Deuce is not going to have that. Deuce is not going to have that.
But we're not saying he shouldn't play. I mean, he should get some time. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Randall's not going to respect a guy that's bringing him donuts to practice. So
exactly right. I mean, that's what it is right now. You know what I mean?
Steph, that's what the last caller was talking about. Because if we're going to be searching for a point guard, and we don't know who it is, right? And we're trying to find an identity with this team. He's talking about down the road. We need to be able to know what we are So if
I agree.
If we can't get that point guard, we're gonna have to start selling to bring in more pieces to continue something.
How long have we been playing this game of trying to bring in a point guard? We've been playing it for almost 20 plus years.
Well, listen, man, I don't know what we're going to do here, man, but it is what it is.
That game. So again, I respect the panel's remarks and opinions and everything. I just think that right now, at this point, we have nothing to lose with making McBride.
I disagree. I disagree.
We do have something.
We do have much to lose, bro. We were the playoff team last year. We cannot go into the season and not make the playoffs.
I think, Kev, I think that what we do need is a period to make an assessment of talent. Because if we are going to bring somebody in, whoever that may be, we're going to need some assets to move that people actually want.
Yo, go get Ish Smith and let's call it a night. Ish Smith is on my board.
I wish the Hornets weren't doing so well because it looked like Scary Terry is having a good old time over there. You know what I'm saying?
He's the only one that I would.
He just got paid extra money. He's staying there.
That's why I'm saying, like it's a shame because we really don't have anyone to go to.
But to Kevin's point, Kev, or was it Mark? I said that. I said we have to decide. Are we building with Randall?
Yep.
And if we're not, we need to trade him for younger players if we're going to go on the younger players timeline.
Right.
Then the front office has to decide. I've said that multiple times, even last year. And when they signed Randall, I said, oh, they made their decision.
Let me put y'all on a spot thing. Let me put y'all on a spot thing. Everybody on this panel, do you want to build with Julius Randle?
We have to. We signed him. Who's going to take him?
No.
Not as the number one guy, though.
Exactly.
But with him on the team, yes.
Exactly. Andy, go ahead. I'm in agreement with Steph 100%.
Yeah, and listen, guys, that Randall contract is going to be way more valuable when the higher salary cap goes in.
Yep.
That's going to be like a uber cheap deal. You can get even picks with it and stuff like that attached because he's going to be so low cost.
Yep.
Yeah, the thing is too, what I'm thinking about, like, so what if he continue, not saying he's having a subpar season. If he continues like that, you have to figure it out. You have to figure out, is he going to play up to par so we can sell him down the line? Because he can, not saying he's going to get worse, but his value can go down, and teams can look at that as like, I don't want to bring that on my team.
His value can go down. I agree. His value can go down, but I think when you listen to what Andy's saying, I don't think he's going to go down to be a guy that's averaging 12 points.
No, not at all.
Right?
A bargain.
So he's still going to be a guy that's giving you 19.
I thought the contract was good, right? But what I was thinking is that even if we didn't give him a contract this year and let him play on that, we could. It's to a point we still could have gave him the money, because where was he going to get? What other team was going to get that? There's no other team with cap space to give him that money. We still had an edge to keep him here.
I get it. But
you couldn't until you was going to sign him for even lower than that. Like, just say we didn't sign him. He went to free agency. He played like this, so we know he wasn't going to give him the 200 million. You was going to give him less than what he's making right now?
No, I didn't know. If he came, all right. So say if he played right now. He deserves a 22, around $25 million contract.
That's what he's on.
That's what he got.
Yeah,
that's what he's on.
I'm not. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you can make a better decision, like you said. Are we going to build with him, or let's see if he's for real? Because I thought if he'd have played on that $20 million contract, he still has to prove himself. Because 1 year, when you're a late bloomer and you're playing like that, and you have 1 year of that, it is very skeptical, Steph.
Right, but you know, but
I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
I think the management's thought process was, let's get him locked up. You look at the deals that everyone they signed to, right? 2 to 3 year deals, because they wanted to say, let's get these guys locked up in a situation where they're not worried about their contract, and let's focus on building. I think that was the thought process of the management team. We get them into contracts. We're not focused, they're not thinking about, am I going to make enough money next year, this and that. Well, they're in a contract. They're comfortable. Now let's focus on building the team. You know what I mean? And I think
the contract is good.
And I think that's the thought process. The contract is good. He's not going to end up being a guy that averages 12 points, within the next 5 years. He's not going to be that guy, right?
He's going to be around 19, 20.
He's going to be 19, 20 points, maybe 22 points and the 10, 11 rebounds per game. So he's going to be worth that money.
Is this 4 year player option?
Hold up. And like Andy is saying, in a couple of years, when that TV deal comes, his contract is going to be considered small, really considered a deal for a guy that's averaging a double-double. It's going to be considered a deal. You know what I mean? So I think that they're in a good situation there. And I still, we're still, we're 23 games in, whatever it is. I'm still going to say, if this season ends up being subpar and they went into next season with the same team, maybe they hopefully add a point guard that they still get better, because you have to look at, you look at last year's team, that team had been together for a little while. That starting five had been together for at least 2 years, a couple of players more than 2 years. The bench started off playing this season really good until we had to make some changes. Why? Because they had some time together. They had some seasoning together. This entire squad right here hasn't had that seasoning together. You know what I mean? And if they play subpar this year, you may see them take another jump next year. You get a point guard in here, they take another jump because now you have some seasoning with the group that's out there, and is a very good chance that maybe he goes back and is shooting better next season, and he can still rebound this year. You've seen RJ do it last year, but a good chance that he rebounds next year and is back to averaging 24.
You know what, too? I just feel like we got to bring in someone that's more superior in rank over Randall. We have to. It's like you said, we can't really bring in like the subpar good point guard that know how to operate a team. We have to bring in someone very dynamic for us to even say that we have a chance to continue with Randall. That's what the caller was going at. If we don't get someone in a year or two, because I always say this is like a 2-year building, we're gonna have to go the other way. It's like you're gonna have to go the other way. We're gonna have to start selling, because now with RJ coming up, I told you, if his consistency don't match what he does on the court, that's something we're gonna have to look at, because I'm not gonna be willing to pay him whatever his thing, and he's not consistent enough for me.
I get it.
He has to show consistency.
I've always been the optimist. I'm not optimistic that we're gonna get a point guard next year. I really don't.
I don't see it.
Oh boy,
I don't see it.
Because I'm not trading for Damian Lillard. He's getting hurt games now. I'm not.
Listen, all I'm gonna say about that is the NBA is wild and things happen.
Yeah, it is. It's wild
all the time. Players come free all the time. You don't know. Look at Kemba Walker. We didn't expect him to come free. We didn't expect him to go to the bench.
Right.
Both of those things happened within a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? The NBA can be a crazy landscape. So
I just feel like Russell Westbrook is probably gonna get abandoned. Because it just doesn't look good. I think Russell Westbrook might be on the move, because when LeBron James don't fit with somebody, you out of there.
They should have known that.
Yeah, they should have known that.
You want to Russell Westbrook?
I personally know, because the dude can't. The dude is thinking. Oh no.
I'm not feeling Russell Westbrook.
No. I like to watch
Randall.
I'm not really feeling that.
I got two guys that can't think the game at the end of games. Oh no, that's a recipe for disaster.
Let me get to a comment real quick. 1975 Jamrock asks a serious question: how can the team improve the basketball IQ of players on the team? Is that through film study? Through film study and experience.
And podcast study.
Right.
Bible study.
I mean, film study, a lot of film study, experience. Experience goes a long way, obviously, just playing. And then, of course, the IQ of you can have your IQ of the basketball game, and then you have the IQ of like your team, because your team has certain things that you do, and then understanding how your team wants to function. You got you know,
gotta know how to function
that,
with your main
and that
guy.
part takes playing together. You know what I'm saying? It does. It takes playing together. So there's
Timing,
different
all
ways
that.
for you to have that basketball IQ. But watching film study always helps, and watching basketball in general always
Even
helps.
when you do too, you have to have the feel. Like that's important. Like you have to have the feel when you're on the court. Some people just don't got it, and some people do. It's not everybody in the NBA has an IQ. That's why you have specialists and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
And you have
true.
them guys-
And you're gonna have some guys
Right.
who are, just certain things they just get it. They get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
they just get it. And some people
So Sim and Steph, let me ask a legit question. Was that a smoke screen that we saw opening night? Was that a smoke screen?
I think that was the team at its best.
That's why I came on here happy. I said, if we played like that, we could go against anybody. That's the type of play that I want to see. And I won't be coming on here complaining and crying as most people say. I just want my team to be better. And it's capable if they did it the first couple of games.
Watch what happens when we show up at the TD Garden in Boston.
What?
Watch what happens when we show up at the TD Garden in Boston. Jason Tatum ain't forgot about the jail comments. Watch what happens to us. Watch.
Listen, man, we vulnerable, man, and it is what it is. We just go. We got to lower our expectations, and whatever the game brings that night is either a win or a dub. We come on here and talk about it and release our stress. But to go into the next game and say, "Oh, this team could actually beat this team," now we have to win against the San Antonio Spurs.
we gotta beat them.
We have to.
And that's another point guard that I would love to have, DeMonte.
That's my guy. That's my guy right there.
I would love to have him.
Yeah, he
The
ain't
Spurs
going
don't even
nowhere.
barely got anybody.
He ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
He ain't
He's going to $64 million. He's
He
going
ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Let's go get Ish Smith and let's call it a night. Let's go.
Gosh,
That's my guy.
Yeah, so
I
we
would
go from
prefer Brunson
small
over
to
Anthony.
smaller. We going from small to smaller now.
Let me tell you something, though. I take his speed. I take his attacking at the rim because he just get it done. I like the dude, man. I like the dude.
He gives us headaches every time.
Listen, a cheap second round pick, you could take Knox if you want because we don't even barely play him.
I mean, but we going from small to smaller.
Listen, man, we got centers that
No offense, Mark, but you talking that again? I'm gonna keep saying, producing. Put him in.
I mean,
he can play.
but we
He
don't.
can play,
we
but he's
still-
not starting.
Yeah, he's not starting. We're not gonna listen. Tibbs ain't going to do it because look how hard it is for him to just play guys like Grimes. Because with Grimes, I think he can help us on the perimeter to guard because he understands. Go over screens. He plays with intensity. You heard it from RJ. When this team play with intensity, you could feel it, you could see it. We do not do it because last year showed you
consistently.
One thing I want to interject with. I want to interject with one thing, right? When guys like me and Kev talk about playing Deuce, we're not talking about starting him over everybody else on the depth chart.
Kev is talking about starting him. Kev is talking about starting him.
But Kev is not an unreasonable guy. If we start somebody, if we start somebody like, all right, like right now, Alec Burks is starting, right? If we were to reduce him a little bit, start IQ, okay, and then just give Deuce McBride 10 minutes out there to cook at the end of games, maybe for a few games, ramp him up. Just give him 10 minutes. Let him
Not
get
at the end of games, somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere.
I don't want him closing. Yeah.
Somewhere that we can mitigate some damage and give him some space to breathe and make a mistake or two. Okay.
Savvy, Tibbs wait till we get killed to put in these younger guys. He wait till we get killed to put in these guys. There's no way he's doing that. It's just
the boy is out there. The boy is out there like a
Tibbs is trying to get the starting lineup to play consistent.
Listen, I'll say this about with Deuce. The fact that he's playing in the G League tells you all you need to know about his chances of getting playing time with the Knicks right now this year.
Right. Yeah.
That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. At least Tibbs don't even like to send people to the
exactly.
to the G League.
Exactly.
I really think
At least he's sharpening.
He may have. Say that
Centers are
again.
playing so bad. I'm thinking about bringing up that Croatian beast that we got down there. He can shoot and move and dunk. I like his game. I've been watching him.
And have these guys in the G League if we're never going to use them, or if they get picked up by somebody else.
He just went down. We're gonna never use him.
Hey, Steph, I was talking about Luka. I wasn't really talking about.
Okay.
That Croatian beast, man. Listen, man. I love his game, man. I think he's very versatile as a big man. He's tough. Croatian
Listen.
tough.
They have him. They have him there, and they'll hear if someone is ready to sign him and they want him.
Yeah.
They'll make a move. They'll free up a spot to get him, or get him on a two-way, or do something like that if they really want him. So I don't think we have to worry about that. You know what I mean? And then obviously at the trade deadline, some moves will happen if they want to bring somebody and say, okay, we're giving you a spot.
Is for real. Yeah. I think his jump shot is for real.
Yeah, it's for real.
I think McBride's jump shot is for real. It did not look like that in college, bro.
Yeah,
it looks for real. He's doing all the bounce. He's doing it. He's doing it dribbling, bro. I think listen, man. I feel like the way how he approached the game is what we need. He is steady. He understands his role.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Forget the elephant. This is the woolly mammoth in the room. When did the whispers start about if the coach of the year is still doing a good job?
Nah, he's doing a good job, bro, because I don't think no other coach could have did what he did. So we have to give him his 4 years, bro, because he transformed this team. So I'm tired of going at Tibbs. Tibbs is coaching. Guys need to execute.
He has no offensive game. He has no offensive game.
The whole damn starting five have regrets.
He has no offensive game. He has no offensive plan. How many times has Johnny Bryant gone over to him to talk to him, and he don't even listen to him?
How you know what Johnny Bryant? How you know what he's saying?
Yeah, go back.
There are a few different wrinkles in the offense this year. There's a different wrinkles in the offense. They're not hitting shots. Listen,
offense, bro.
No matter what coach you bring in here, you're gonna find something that you don't like. No matter who you bring in.
The first thing this team needed was defense. I don't care what nobody. We had to bring in someone that knew how to coach defense.
Okay, you got the defense. Where's the offense coming from?
Well, no, we don't have the defense. We
don't have the defense because guys are regressing.
There was a caller earlier that made a good point. I think Terry Stotts might need a phone call. That was not a bad idea.
Have a wife. 66 years old and don't have a wife. You don't think he's coaching, bro? he don't have a wife. He's 66 years old.
Have an offensive philosophy.
He does, but when you got guys that are not working and doing it, what can you do?
It looks
they
bad.
have to go out there and produce.
G-Man was right. Sergeant G-Man was right. He said it. Make it for him. All right,
Tibbs is married to the game, but I think that caller was on to something with bringing in Terry Stotts for some offensive concentration.
That would be good.
No, I mean it'd be good to have somebody to help him out offensively.
Terry Stotts is very good on offense.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah,
Kev, you all right?
I don't know if he's working right now, but
bottle. That's what you need. That's what you need, Kevin.
I will be when I go to my company Christmas party tonight. I will be fine because I will be waiting.
They having a Christmas party on the 4th?
Yeah, word on the 4th.
Yeah, they work quickly.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here. It's been 3 hours.
You worse than the Ants, bro.
It's just that we're a game of below 500 where we shouldn't have been. There are games that we should not have lost.
Yeah, but guess what?
And now that we
drunk the Kool-Aid from last year, bro.
Huh?
We drank Kool-Aid from last year. We thought we was going to be a little better this year. Everyone thought we was going to be a little better. We drank the Kool-Aid.
You're supposed to rise. You're not supposed to decrease. And
Okay,
that's
but
what's we're decreasing.
let's talk to RJ about that. Let's talk to Randall about that. Let's talk to Mitch about that.
Right.
The players themselves are not playing as well as they played last year.
The starter five had to set the tone. And if they all regressing, what you want Tibbs to do? The man is coaching. The man is watching tape. Yo, listen, I will put my life on it.
If we held Fizdale and others to their high standard, we gotta put the Coles to to Tibbs right now, because he's the head coach. He's supposed to say what game, what goes.
You know what?
And we can do the same thing to Fizdale and all those other
very
jokers.
fragile.
Fizdale wasn't coaching though.
It's not coaching, man.
Yeah,
That man
Fizdale.
is yelling at them to run the damn sets. He's yelling at them every night. Move the ball. Move
Right,
yourself.
give him a free pass. Give him his flowers. Give him a free pass.
I don't think he's getting a free pass.
No, I'm not giving him a free pass. Sometimes his rotation sucks.
I don't think he's getting a free pass. He makes mistakes too, but the roster is not
his
what.
consistency is there. His consistency of what he wants to do, it's there. Players got to execute it. If he goes,
don't think that I'm letting off the front office.
Yeah, that front office.
All right.
That front office too. They can blame too, because if he told you I need my guy here and you don't want to keep him, I'd have rather took Reggie Bullock than Noel. I could have found Noel somewhere else. Tell you the truth. And Taj Gibson, he's more solid than all our bigs. I trust him more than all our bigs because he knows.
The only thing they did right was these draft picks. That's the only thing they did right.
Yeah. Well,
and Andrew Jones, we're in the 12th seed right now, I believe.
12th.
Let's end this show. We've been going on.
Yeah, I'm about to get up out of here. We on hour 3.
Hey, we wore this one out, boy. Ooh, Lord.
This has been a show.
Going under 500 does it to you, man. I'll tell you.
We better win San Antonio, or it's going to be very rocky.
This has been a show. It's been a funny. It's been a fun show.
Shout out to the last caller, because God knows he was spitting facts.
That man had a spreadsheet in front of him.
Yeah. Let me get some last words in. I'm gonna start with Andy. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, listen, the next game is maybe not like a must-win game, but I hope we get that W, because I don't feel like falling, lower than 12 seed in the East.
Goodness.
That's where we are right now.
Yeah, so
oh my goodness,
let's keep our
we're not even in the
crossed,
play-in.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's gonna be what one game could do for us? That's all. It's like we gotta win one, lose one to stay afloat.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad if we go 2 games under 500. Steph.
Nick family, lay off of Randall. We got to get his role right. You bring in that point. I agree with you. I'm not sure I don't think we can win either with him as our number 1 option. However, we bring in that point guard and Randall plays off the ball. You can win with him on this team as your 2nd or 3rd option, because he will be much more efficient without facilitation responsibilities. Relax, put it on the front office to put that team around him. The Knicks will be fine.
Yeah. Savvy?
I think our silent mob boss Leon need to call up Portland and make an offer they can't refuse, because they need to let that boy about his contract and let us get him for some good money. I think we need to win this game against the Spurs, because the guys that we play after that, we need to at least be able to be within 1 game. There was at one point a 5-way tie for 7th place in the Eastern Conference. So right now we don't have much leeway. We need to stop the bleeding now.
Yep.
If they haven't already had or started the team meeting during this live stream, guess what? The season's cooked, because I don't know what more you got to see. Okay, salute Knicks family, salute to the panel, salute to the chat, and we got some more greatness coming at you.
Right, Mark?
Listen, man, you know what it is, Sid, man. I enjoy being here. I love the panel, man. I love the entertainment. I love the chat. Love you callers, man. Today was great, I'm not upset. It's more about being consistent, man. And until we get that, man, it's just this what we're gonna look like on a nightly basis if we don't get these wins, man. So let's just stay afloat as much as possible. I ain't even looking for 2-game winning streak. Just stay afloat, man. Keep us alive, man, because we drunk some Kool-Aid, and this is what we get when we taking too much sugar. See what happened?
I think I heard a stat. The other night that we didn't win 2 games in a row the entire November. Is that right?
Yeah. I think that's true. Yep. Kev, some last words.
He is a diva.
I'm putting the players on notice. I'm putting the coaching staff on notice. I'm putting the front office on notice. I'm putting our panel, the chat, our Knicks fans on front notice because I'm putting y'all on notice because y'all are the Tibbs apologists. All right? Get it together. That's all I'm gonna say is get it together. We're getting under 500. We're out of the playoff thing. Get your stuff together. I would like to use the other words, but we're on
international airways.
Exactly. Get it together.
Okay.
That's all I got to say.
Right. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Get it together. We're out of here. Peace.
This is NBK. Nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Knick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.